of this best of 5, the last match of the play-ins here at the LCK Cup, and DRX do have the rock ban position, which is just often the first ban. It's not going to be this time though. Nico going to be taken away.
Yeah, Nico's kind of in this weird spot where, you know, we do see a ban in the first rotation, a moderate amount, but not super common, and not on the same level as things like Jace, Malphite, Rumble. And the fact we're also seeing a Jarvan ban, instantly this is not like a typical set of bans we get. Bard as well. So immediately I'm thinking, what's going to be left open? You know, Rumble, Jace, Azir, Orianna, something's going to slip through. And the question really is just going to be what is going to be left available. With Rumble coming through.
Oh, this is interesting. So now it's Jace or the Malphite situation.
Yeah, Jace, Malphite, Azir, Orianna, Ryze. I think mid lane probably is going to leave them open and available.
Yep.
I think Malphite we've seen, even though it's been banned a ton, it kind of hasn't always been super successful. So maybe Jace is that it's been banned more and it's the higher priority ban. Or maybe if there is a mid that you really are concerned about,
Xin Zhao.
So much available right now that we typically see banned out.
And DRX will first pick Orianna because it's Yukao. It's what we've seen so many times. I hope that it is not the case, but at this point in time, you've got Malphite into Jace, and Sponge has really been prioritizing the Jace. This guy in the Kesper Cup, I'm pretty sure, is where he debuted it. Actually looked very good on the champion. Instead, Yunara is going to be the lock-in. We've just decided to go away from all of those handshake swaps, and it's going to be the Yunara that takes the priority here.
I think the theory here is clearly there's so much in the jungle and mid that's available that it's like, look, that, you know, we're definitely going to have something that we can secure that we're happy with, so we're just going to take the 80 carry. We're going to have priority on that. It does give Nongshim 2 picks now to sort of select what we want to round out our composition with, what we want to go with, and they're going to go with the Ambessa. So again, with so much available jungle mid, we do finally get a look towards that with the Orianna coming through. And it's a pretty good setup as well with the Ambessa if you can connect that ult. You do want something a bit more reliable though. We do just get that trade of the Orianna Azir coming through.
Yep, so a lot of team fighting power here from DRX, but we know that Yukao doesn't necessarily like this side of the matchup. We've actually seen Oriannas do pretty well into the Azir at the same time, so probably not feeling super psyched about this particular lock-in.
Yeah.
I'm wondering about the Lulu situation, because Lulu value kind of massive on both sides, given Yunara Lulu's success that has been had here in the LCK, and also Ambessa and the Lulu together has been pretty powerful.
I feel like you do want to grab jungle here though. I mean, there's Vi available, not just like the Malphite Jace, but Vi as well. So there's lots of options there, but they actually go for the Nautilus here. So not only something that obviously has a lot of value, we've seen prioritized a lot in terms of lockdown, but just denial in the sense that you can't pick it into the Yunara. I've seen it a lot as that point and click CC. And I wonder here for Nongshim, do Nongshim pick the Vi to have?
I was going to say, isn't it just like a free Vi angle? Yep, rock! And Sponge is going to take the Malphite. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this obviously can be flashed by the Yunara, but it's still, you know, if you're playing around that flash time, if you get hit by the Malphite ult and the Orianna ult is there, it's just game over.
It's going to be a rough time. Renekton going to be banned away here as, man, this core is kind of ridiculous because Malphite Orianna together is kind of like the even older version of the Nocturne Orianna combo, as the good old Unstoppable Force Shockwave is very, very powerful. If you manage to catch them all in there, the Wombo combo potential kind of gigantic. As Leona going to be taken away from Lehens. Of course, Lehens, a bit of an eclectic player, so going to get some different bans thrown his way. But Leona is relatively standard, but certainly one that he does like to prioritize, especially when he wants to get out of lane, as there is the Mundo. We've seen that as an answer. I think Cuz brings it out into the Malphite whenever it does happen, but any sort of tank kind of does okay into the Malphite is what we've kind of seen.
Yeah, does a pretty good job of kind of just matching him. We've seen like Sejuani as well be something that's picked into it, so could pick that too. We'll see what Nongshim opt to go for. Obviously, they know the bot lane from DRX here, so pretty safe to just pick whatever they want in this situation.
Yep. And you could decide to go with something a little bit more explosive. They have a lot of team fighting prowess for later on. And so I think the Lucian does make a fair bit of sense here.
They could just, I mean, they have a lot of engage. They could just go like Lucian Braum if they want, knowing that the Nautilus is the opposition, and have a pretty strong 2v2. They don't necessarily need the CC engage since they have so much from the top side. And now for the side of DRX.
Oh, are they going to do the Raptor tech? They could theoretically go Nautilus jungle. As Pantheon instead, certainly high on the tier list at this point in time, doesn't exactly do the greatest into something that really wants to stack armor. There is the Gwen matchup into the Ambessa. This is a lot of fire on that top side of the map. So Rich up against Kingen going to be a interesting one to watch, as interesting as top lane matchups can get.
Yeah, I think we've seen the Gwen into the Ambessa a good amount from players like Zeus and Keen, a matchup that used to be Ambessa favored, but we've seen some of our top laners taking the Gwen and performing pretty well on it. I do think having more carries is important for DRX. Even though we talked about having the tank in the jungle into Malphite, I think having like the Gwen in the top lane means that even if Yunara does get exploded, you still have a Gwen who can potentially clean up the fight. Is that important insurance?
And it's also Taeyeon's worst nightmare, having watched Dudu yesterday and what he did to him on a pretty fed Kai'Sa that couldn't quite get it across the line. So, DRX with some options here, but man, it was a smorgasbord of picks. As far as a game one is concerned, this draft is chock full of the tier list champions. And let's see whether it's going to be enough to pick up a win on either side. I think that Nongshim did manage to get a little bit more of the buffet, you could say, with both Malphite and the Orianna Ambessa, with Lucian Braum, which are still quite strong. On the other side, DRX with the Azir Yunara being sort of the biggest ones out of the likely to be banned champions, and Pantheon sort of teetering on the edge. So I think we'd probably give it to Nongshim as far as the value of the draft. I just don't know whether it necessarily means that it's a winning draft, right? You can pick a lot of tier list stuff, but that it does need to work together. There is wombo combo potential, but can DRX just win it based on the fact that they have a lot of tools?
Yeah, I think it really comes down to the Pantheon pick, because you have so much more early agency compared to the Malphite, right? Because the Malphite is just a rock. A very stationary rock until level 6. Yeah. Compared to the Pantheon, who from level 3 onwards...
He goes from a rock to a rocket.
There you go. Compared to the Pantheon, who has so much agency from level 3 onwards, and even at level 6, as much as Malphite has that ult pressure, Pantheon gets like the global pressure available. So really, I think it's a matter of, can you outpace the Malphite, get your lanes ahead to the point where the only response Nongshim can really do is like, okay, we have team fighting power, but we're too far behind. Maybe even if they get that combo off and kill the Yunara, the Gwen Azir are too much of an issue to really stand up. So
I need to make a public service announcement, and that is, could all Wolves please come to the caster desk, because there is something that you need to talk about. There is another one.
Oh man.
Another incident. Another toilet issue. This is one of the largest Wolf pet peeves that we have. I mean, I think there are 2 massive pet peeves that exist. Yeah, there he is. I know. He can't handle it. I'm glad he's got a very large space to freak out in, though, because he needs it. He was bouncing off the walls the last time. Full of frustration, and it's just not really what we want to see. Just make sure you go to the bathroom before you sit down. Guys? I don't know whether we should be naming and shaming. I do know who it is.
Well,
you do too, because it's there in the prompter. It's right there. We might have to reveal that later. But yeah, this is it's just sad that it continues to happen.
Yeah. Well,
All right. Well, we're resuming now, and so Taeyeon has sat back down into his chair, and we will be getting on to the Rift shortly. Let's hope that he has relieved himself and ready to play some very good League of Legends. I feel like the way I said that sounded weird. I appreciate the giggle, but it only emphasized the weirdness. And all right, let's get into game number 1 here. LCK Cup play-ins concludes after this best of 5. Let's get into it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Onto the Rift for game number 1 already. Wolf very upset because of the toilet issue. We now need a Chemtech Soul, because then it would be the Orcs issue of not paying attention and causing Chemtech Souls. It's not going to be, because the first pick is going to be that. But that would mean that then we'd get, you know, Mega Cones for Valdez, and we could use Mega Disengage Cones, and it'd make him very upset. He's also hosting today, so he'd be able to be here to be live upset, you know?
That is what we need.
Even if he was home, he would still be alive, but you know what I mean? Like, it would be live. We'd be able to see his reaction live on the TV. Yeah.
See him getting pressed.
Yeah. Assuming that you're watching on TV, you could, obviously, like with, I don't know, Chromecast or Apple TV or something. Anyway, UCal and Scout going to be laning here, as we have seen this Orianna-Azir matchup so many times across the millennia. Has it been over 10 years? I think it's been over 10 years, hasn't it, with Azir-Orianna in the game? When did Azir get released?
It's been a while.
I can just look it up. Azir release.
Azir was 2014. Oh, wow.
2014. Okay, 12 years. My goodness. Makes it feel old, does it not?
You know what it is? It's always, whenever a champion came out, after you started playing, it feels just so much newer.
Yep.
Even when it's, like, to me, Braum just feels so much newer than Orianna, even though Braum is extremely old.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like, Vladimir still feels new.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Also, how does it affect you when champions have been reworked? Because I feel like that messes with you as well.
I feel like that you have to reset the release.
Yeah.
You know, like Sion is quite different to what he was.
But also like Pantheon, because Pantheon is like super old, but like I just can't look at Pantheon the same when I see that icon, right?
Yeah. It's a completely different champion. I think it's like, I don't know, there's a different reworks as well. Like, for example, like Trundle got reworked, but all of his buttons do the same thing.
Yeah.
And so that's a little bit of a different story. Which is very sad, because Trundle had the best skin in the game, and now it's gone forever. And you remember Junkyard Trundle with the little pink shoe?
And Udyr, when they stopped him from just being a guy in a garbage bag.
Pizza shoes, man. Oh, goodness. Andor going to get stunned up here as Jude makes his way back, but does take a little bit of damage here. Nongshim taking up the wave.
Good pressure coming out from Taeyun on the hands. And the problem is, when you're playing Yunara, a lot of your trading power comes from being able to have access to the wave. Now, Scout's getting some heavy trades in, but saw Willa on a ward, so won't be caught off guard. And anytime they can track Willa on this Pantheon and just avoid interacting with him is a good thing for Nongshim. You want to know where the Pantheon is, want to avoid getting ganked, getting caught out, especially when you look at mid and top, both were so low on HP. That is just like Pantheon walks in, flash stun, Q, dead. So definitely pays off to know his location and avoid that happening.
We're seeing both of our junglers finishing their first clears. Sponge a little bit faster than Willa, who did end up towards that top side. Teleport back here for Rich. Kingen sticking around for a little bit more. Just a rock and a book here for the Gwen. But now the trades for Kingen are going to feel a whole lot better, because he gets to use his health bar. And as soon as he gets Rich down a little bit lower, going to be very, very happy. No potions here for the Gwen at this point in time, as Gio and Andal going in here. Hook going to connect onto Lehens. He's taking a lot of damage as the Slurkle is going to land.
Yeah, you can see the difference there where Gio was on the wave first. Taeyun came back to lane, and then that was when Gio had power, and a little bit of disrespect from the Nongshim bot lane actually got them punished. Shows how things can kind of ebb and flow in the bot lane.
Ooh, nice little hit there from Andal. Finds Taeyun, gets the barrier. Still going to lose a lot of his health bar, but shows Andal game one form. You like to see it.
Just heavy trading in all three lanes.
Yeah, every lane. It's just damage all over the place. I want to see like average damage per minute pre 6 minutes and where this game would sit, because I imagine it's relatively high. As UCal has taken a lot of damage in this.
Yeah, it can be already used. Nose just...
There's the flash, and it is just traded. Obviously, it feels a little bit better to get a flash out of the Orianna as the Azir, because once you hit that level 6, you're going to be able to utilize it, but he does not have the teleport.
Oh, and there's damage dealt a lot by Scout already.
Yeah, let's just say that Nongshim look like they're winning at this point in time. Even if DRX did have a slight gold advantage, the amount of damage that has been done, certainly on the Noodles side of things. Rich hits the level 6 and immediately gets that needlework out. Little shield there from Kingen, but as you can see, Rich demanding respect here in this top lane. And Rich doing his very best to do his Keen impression. Obviously, Keen has been our most famous like Gwen into Ambessa player. Has really liked this matchup. But not a lot of people have been able to replicate what he does on this pick into Ambessa because she just can be a little bit problematic.
Yep. I think Eclipse Spike is where the Ambessa is really going to feel good in this matchup no matter what.
Oh, Yukao goes for it. He finds Scout. Shockwave hits onto 2, but the Orianna should be going down. Willa picks up the first blood before the other mid laner goes down. Now Rich is making his way in, and Lehens uses the door beautifully. And the immune on the public execution is going to spell the end of King and a double for Willa.
And honestly, I think if Nongshim had just traded 1-for-1 there, that would have been fine. 1-for-1 when your Malphite's level 5, when your Orianna has no flash. I think if you'd taken that and walked away, that would have been...
What? Hang on a second. Flashes, as there's the teleport in. Andal is a little late to the party. He does find the anchor. Flashes for it! Doesn't have Ignite or anything like that, so Taeyun is just able to get himself out of there. Jiu is obviously not able to help.
And Taeyun going to be saying, bot lane no flashes after that one.
I imagine so. But I do like the gusto that Andal is playing with here. Look at him, full bodyguard mode. Trying to make sure that Jiu stays alive. Another hook going to connect, but the door is working very, very well. Ulti coming on through here from Jiu, though. Does have the barrier back up again. There's the flash out from Taeyun, the dash forward. And Jiu's still looking for it. Taeyun goes down. He walked to the Braum! Oh, no! Oh, that's not what you want to see.
Oh, the misplay there. Jiu's barrier came back up. So it wasn't up when he initially had to burn his flash. It came back up. He got the level 6, got the ult. And then Taeyun just walked back in range. Okay, this play. So I actually think the initial play is pretty okay for Nongshim because Scout having no flash, he's just dead. He's just completely dead. And the fact that they trade 1-for-1 here, even though obviously Braum gets the kill, but you have a level 5 Malphite. I think the fact you trade 1-for-1 and get out, you take that. But then Kingen tries to extend it, the ult gets immuned, and he just died. So instead of this being like a 1-for-1 where really you shouldn't be getting a 1-for-1, they end up trading down, and I think that was a bit of a mistake. But here, Jiwoo's level 5, doesn't have barrier, has to flash. So we lose flash in Jiwoo, we also lose flash on Andal. So again, this is pretty good for Nongshim. A second time where I'm saying this is pretty okay for Nongshim.
Yeah, it was looking very good for Nongshim.
And then what happens?
He was almost dead.
They stick around. And they end up getting punished for it. And I think it's just 2 plays in a row where Nongshim are just like overstaying their welcome.
And this is that moment.
Nothing back.
No.
He was safe. He was out. He was literally away.
He was fine. And then decided, nope, it is my time to die. And he did do that. All right. And now some crystalline overgrowth being eaten here. Taeyun gonna have to back away and even further than he otherwise thought, as Willer is just going to drop from the sky. Teleport in from Scout to make sure that the dive doesn't come on down as Lehens misses the Glacial Fissure. And another hook is gonna connect here onto Scout as well. He gets chain CC'd and destroyed as Jiu collects another one. Oh, Nongshim, what's happened?
I feel like a broken record. You know, an overstay. You stopped the dive, you disengaged.
Do you know what?
Done.
Oh my god, do you know what this is? Oh, never mind. I'm gonna have to hold my thought here as another redive is going to come on through. Another hook's gonna land, of course it does, as it's magnetized when it's Andal. He tanks up the turret, and 2 swift kills onto that bottom lane again.
It's like they're refusing to take these little advantages. They're like, we need more, and then they're paying for it. They stopped the dive. It was a great read. It was actually a great read that Taeyun moved away from the tower. So they couldn't pull the dive off. They prevented it. They mitigated it. But they're like, no, we need more. We TP'd Orianna down. We have to get something more from this. Like, Taeyun's already moved away, so the dive is a failure.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, job, this is a success. You've wasted their time. You don't need more than this. But they're like, no, 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 we have to get more. Scout walks in. Scout's dead.
And walking blind into a Nautilus is just never a thing that you want to do.
Yeah, and now because of this, everyone dies. And it's just, you need to just take the little advantages. They're being so greedy.
There is a rock on the way. Unstoppable Force, and that is a very dead Gwen. Beautifully played there from Sponge. Picking it up with that first ulti, that is what you want to see. This is what I wanted to say before though, Orcs. Because we had some feedback yesterday. I think you were quite adamant about this little kerfuffle that we like to say, losing the game on a scuttle crab.
Yeah.
Which did happen often.
Yeah.
What has happened this time around is DRX are like, you know what? Why don't we kill the bad guys before they can even go to the Scuttle Crab? And therefore, we will not throw the game on the Scuttle. We'll do it under the enemy turret instead. They
figured out there's no Scuttle Crabs under the enemy turret.
Exactly.
So, problem solved.
Absolutely genius.
You know
Have you seen any kerfuffles around a Scuttle this game?
You know what Nongshim need to do? They need to pick Syndra. They need to pick up the Scuttle Crab.
Oh my goodness.
And put it under their tower.
That would be genius. Because DRX would have no idea what to do. You're like, oh no, you've counted our plan. We'll never even, what, are we even supposed to kill the Nexus anymore? I don't even know.
That's the solution. But now we have a situation where Yunara is 1,600 gold ahead.
And at 11 minutes into the game, guys, that is a very large portion of the amount of gold that he has.
That's substantial.
Yeah. That means Caulfields versus Kraken Slayer is the combo.
Okay.
Needlework is going to go completely wide.
Yes, we've hit the Eclipse part of the game for the Ambessa. So,
yeah.
Malphite ult up in 3, 2, 1.
Rich has flash this time. Let's see whether he flashes it. And he doesn't. He's just dead. Sometimes if you just go point blank, the rocket will land.
Yeah. Yeah. It's also, it's kind of tricky because there can be times where you flash it and you end up still getting hit by it because it's quite wide.
Yeah.
Also, at that HP, you could just die anyway. So
I think holding the flash, even if he did have the hands to avoid it, I think he was probably still dead.
Yeah,
like,
it is hard at point blank. It is hard at point blank as well. So,
well, now Kingen is becoming a problem as he has reached almost a 600 gold advantage. He certainly will get there with a plate or two.
Yes, he has hit full build on Ambessa.
Indeed.
You have Eclipse. So.
And Riftmaker not done yet here for Rich either. And so we wait. Let's see whether...
2 levels up.
Yeah. I feel like win conditions are on opposite sides of the map for these two teams.
And you know what?
This game?
I'm really glad we're seeing this because I think one of the issues I had with Nongshim series yesterday was that against Dudu, Kingen just wasn't really given favor in draft or in the matchup. And we had that Sion game where he took Ignite and was getting solo kills into Gwen. But he's playing Sion into Gwen. And I think it just felt like he was never given the opportunity to really show up or have a matchup where he can do something or have an impact. So, you know, I'm glad he's getting the opportunity to do so now, getting some resources from the team, and hopefully he'll be able to do something with that.
I have a question. Why would DRX pick Scissors into Rock?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
This is from chat. They're all talking about it, and it makes so much sense. I also don't understand. I didn't see that it was that obvious. You know, I could feel it in my bones, in my waters, but I didn't know exactly why. And now I understand why. Where is the paper going to come from? Because that is exactly what DRX need to find. I would normally think that it's Lee Sin with his safeguard, leaving little bits of paper on his teammates.
Well, Lehens is playing the Santa Brom skin. So he's probably going to have a lot of wrapping paper.
That's true.
Yeah. So cutting the ribbons open and the presents, Rich is going to be great at that. Unfortunately, they're on opposite sides of the map.
Well, Rich is not as immune as he wanted to be here, but there is a Pantheon coming down and he keeps himself alive. There is the stun and Kingen solo goes down. Yukal gets in there, pushes Sponge back, and Rich gets his revenge.
Third time in a row, it gets a little bit telegraphed, a little bit obvious.
Yeah.
And this time, Scissors beats Rock.
Maybe that's what it is. I didn't know that's what happened when you played too much rock, paper, scissors. Is all right, we got to fight in this bottom lane as well. Hen's taking a fair bit of damage here as the exhaust is down onto Jiu. That does help mitigate some of that, but there is still a huge lead between these 80 carries, and fighting 2v2 is not recommended.
Ow.
As, the Arc of Ruin comes on down, and more plates are just evaporating from this turret. Hook gonna connect as Jiu gets in range. A lot of damage here, wants to be able to get the kill. Andel's down already, though, as Tan flashes. Jiu picks up the kill, and now Team's trying to deal with these minions. One auto from either team. Oh, dear.
That's cheating.
Willer just walks in. Unfortunately, Jiu called his cousin, and so that fight is not fair. It's not playground rules.
Taeyeon's like eyeing up Jiu, like, can I do it? Can I take him?
Yeah.
The answer's no, by the way. Jiu has barrier. But Willer just walks in like, don't worry, little bro. I've got this. Yeah, you bid everything on the Gwen. The Gwen didn't die. And then the backup shows up, and it just backfires massively.
I imagine Kingan's like, what else do you got, Sponge? And Sponge is like, I'm playing Malphite, man. Like, I don't know what you want from me.
I've done everything I can. This ends up super hectic, this bot lane 2v2. Oh, but we don't get to see more.
Yeah, another fight to come on through here as the exhaust onto Scout. Let's see whether he can get much done with the shockwave. It hits 2 as the unstoppable force. As soon as it's used to escape, you know everything's gone wrong as DRX move to a 5,000 gold advantage.
I'm not convinced Willer actually takes damage. Like, I know he has an ability that blocks damage, but even when he's not using that, I just don't see his health bar really move very much. So I'm a little bit concerned.
Snip. Snip, snip, snip. Okay. Maybe Kingan's paper. As Taeyeon is dead. All right. Jiu just killed him. Oh dear. We need to get into Chijijik or Soup and just tell everyone to stop watching. There's too much watching at the moment. I
think the main thing that I'm seeing from this game is that the 3-0 Predators for Nongshim are kind of doomed.
Well, yeah. I was thinking about doing some play-by-play, but I think that what we saw speaks for itself. For those radio listeners at home, Kingan just died under his turret without being able to do anything at all.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, maybe he just doesn't get... There's not that much damage, though, in this 3-man from Nongshim. But Willer just kind of walks forward, and he just... Yeah. There's not much resistance, to be fair. Anywhere, at any point on the map.
Ah, this is the Jiu walks at him and he dies. Really glad we got prove you on that one.
Oh, there's Willer again.
Is dead again.
Wow.
Willer is looking for an opportunity here. Winter's Bite does connect. The Sponge doesn't take a lot of damage, but I think he may start to as another unstoppable exit.
You know,
gets him on out of there.
I like to think that when you lose to a team, you definitely take something away from them, and it seems like...
Oh, there's a stun onto Andal. He's the one going in, but losing a lot of his health bar.
It seems like DRX has taken a lot away from their loss against D+.
Yeah.
They clearly just went, you know what, guys?
Joker actually spoke about this in the interview afterwards. He's like, we've identified a lot of things. Like, we're just going to stop throwing the game at Scuttlecrab. And do you know what they did? They didn't throw the game at Scuttlecrab off.
You know what? I think they just watched what D+ did and went, guys, let's just do that.
Oh, yeah. We're supposed to cataclysmically win in the first 10 minutes of the game.
Wait, guys, why don't we just stomp them into the dirt? And they're like, whoa, what did we think of that? That's so good.
All right, I'm glad we saw the setup for the replay there as well, as we're going to have a look here on this bottom side. We are getting the setups for a lot of these things, as obviously it is a lot of action in this game.
Yeah.
I kind of wish Malphite also said cowards as the old sound.
The old sound.
Oh dear. That is, so he has hit 2 ults onto Rich for kills in the early game. That's definitely good. But unfortunately, that has been mitigated by 2 sad ults. As now Lahan's going to throw down his ultimate as well. Taeyeon gets knocked up though. It's a fantastic depth charge as Jiu makes his way in. And Nongshim, with their rock available, there it is. The triple knockup does come on through. The 2-man shockwave comes down, but there's the Empress Divide as Rich gets into the backline. Scout's getting cut up, and they just don't have the damage. Jiu, he's got a rock in front of him, but he's decided he's just going to hit it 1,000 times, and it eventually will go down. Nongshim just had no damage.
Jiu was like, I'm just going to be like water and just hit this rock constantly.
Yes. I'm just going to channel thousands of years of erosion
in just a few moments. I mean, this just... So they're like, it's a tight corridor, we can try and find them, but the problem is here, Sponge gets this big ult, but they don't actually shockwave Jiwoo here.
Yeah.
It actually only hits the frontliners, and...
It was almost impressive that it didn't hit Jiwoo.
Yeah, I don't know actually how this happened. Oh, it's because the ball wasn't on Sponge, it was just on the ground. And then Willer's like...
And Jiwoo also got knocked a little bit back.
And Kingan's ult didn't connect. I think the blast cone just disrupted it. And then Jiwoo is just like, okay, I'm just going to stand still.
Man, this ward's taking ages to kill.
He's just reminded that Sponge just has no damage.
Yeah, and also just has no buttons left.
Okay.
We're not saying that as anything against Sponge. He is literally an R button, and then, you know, even my wagon wheels don't really do too much.
I do want to remind everyone, this is some important information, okay? So Malphite is the second most banned champion in the LCK Cup.
Yeah.
I'm going to hold that thought because we have a Baron going on.
Yeah, there's a bit of supportal combat happening, but Lehens has a few extra friends. Here comes the Pantheon. Is stand beside me. Going to work out very well there for Lehens to disengage. Some of these health bars aren't exactly looking the best, and with Shelly coming down, that is going to mean this turret does fall down. Nongshim, decent macro play there to be able to get an outer turret.
But as I was saying,
it's a 9,000 gold lead, Ox.
Second most banned champion in the LCK Cup, right?
Yeah.
So far, it's won 1 game, lost 4. If it loses this game, which is looking likely, it will have won 1 and lost 5, which gives it a 16% win rate.
And it kind of makes you feel embarrassed for those that have been banning it so much.
They've just been non-stop banning it, and it's just, whenever it's come through, it's won 1 game and lost the rest.
And I think
it's been struggling.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because you think about it as this means that it's dumb to ban it. It's not actually the case. A lot of the reason why a lot of things are banned is so you don't have to worry about it when you actually get into the draft phase, right? So they've just, all of our teams know how to mitigate Malphite, but they have to put a lot of effort to do so.
I don't know what makes it funnier, right? You know the most banned champion?
What's that?
Is Jace.
Yeah.
Which already has 1 win and 5 losses.
And he also was available in this series and just didn't get picked. Just one of the first times, I think, that Jace has been left up, but not actually chosen.
I think the thing is, we've definitely seen the power of these picks, you know, in other regions, in solo queue and scrims. They did also get nerfed on this patch, right? But I think just struggling to execute in the LCK and meet the win conditions. And I think we talked about how with the Pantheon, you need to get the ball rolling early. Before you can't just set the Malphite doesn't have as much early impact. Obviously a great team fighter, but like Willa has
I saw the ball rolling a lot in the early game. I'm pretty sure the death animation of Orianna has the ball rolling away.
Ah, yes.
The ball was rolling. We saw that.
Scout was doing so well in lane, and now he's 0-5-1.
Yeah. When did that happen? Well, I'm looking at the Pantheon scoreline, and I think...
In fairness, we're blaming the Malphite. The Malphite's 2-2-1.
Hey, I wasn't blaming the Malphite. I just think that the Malphite has one button. That one button does really good things.
It's a good button.
I'm pretty sure it was Willa that picked up the Malphite win, right? With that, was it even against Nongshim? Tell me it wasn't against Nongshim.
Was it?
Oh dear. Oh dearie me. That would just add too much poignance. Sometimes there's enough poignance, and I think this series has enough of it. As Willa and Dew getting to work on this Baron, but that ward is doing a lot of work here. Nongshim, do they actually have
any... No, it was against Bro. It was against Bro.
Oh, it was against Bro. Okay, never mind. Thankfully, the poignance is mitigated somewhat. Can Sponge actually make it into the pit? That's going to be the question here, as there is the flash out from Andal. They take the Baron. Sponge does find a triple knockup. There's a public execution to the backline as Kingan's going ballistic. The rock does go down, but Gio is still alive, and Kingan's wiped out. The wallets, ladies and gentlemen, are full of gold bars. And if you didn't know, they weigh a lot, like a really large amount. And DRX just clobbered Nongshim with theirs.
And I think in that moment, you could see exactly what Nongshim wanted to do, and if there wasn't such a mammoth gold lead, what hopefully would have worked.
Yeah, I think like Kingan's angle was absolutely phenomenal in there. Like the teleport onto that one pesky ward that DRX didn't do their homework.
They got the combo.
Yep.
They got the combo in, big damage. Jiwoo would have died if he wasn't super fed with a shield bow.
Yeah.
But he is super fed with a shield bow.
Yeah, shield bow.
Yeah.
7, 0, and 5 amounts of fed.
Yes.
So now he's got an Infinity Edge. The good news about the Infinity Edge, no defensive stats.
Yes.
He's just as killable as he was.
Yeah, which was already
which was not very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. Okay, that doesn't help, does it?
3 levels above Taeyun. How does that happen?
How much gold does Taeyun have? Because I'm pretty sure it's not 5,000.
He's down 5,000.
Like, I think, like, he's got 2.5 items compared to 4.
80 carries have a gold quest, by the way. He gets extra gold.
It's like one of those, like, he's playing an open world game, he's ignored the quest.
I love when I talk about the levels and they just pop the graphic up.
Oh, okay! Oh, he's killable now as 1 versus 4 with, everything thrown at him. There you go. Kitchen sink, The direct counter to Yanara.
There we go. That'll stall out a little bit the push from DRX. Without an AD carry, I don't think they can go too aggressive with this Baron. The thing is, cracking the base already.
Oh, Sponge is getting... No, but Scissors is bad against Rock. Rich, you don't understand. You're playing it wrong.
I feel like so many years of my life as a child on the schoolyard has just completely been dismantled
it's like
by this game.
He's like the kid that played rock, paper, scissors, refused to lose, and just got his scissors and hit, like, hand, just hit the enemy, the kid with the rock hand.
Yeah.
That, look, see, my scissors are so good, they'll just cut you right. That's what happened. That's a convoluted way to explain pretty simple.
I think the hand gestures helped me. I got what you were saying. I think people at home maybe less so.
Yeah. It was also, yeah, I don't know. I was gesturing aggressively, and so we don't really need to see that. It's okay. 11,000 gold is the lead here, and yeah, the word shellacking comes to mind. Spawn's official definition of what a shellacking is games over within 25 minutes.
Oh, so
but the game has been over for a really long time.
Dew has about a little bit less than 50% more gold than Taeyun, so yeah. It's a lot. Significant. Substantial.
Yeah, I would say that things are going quite well for DRX, is the way that I would describe what's going on here. Hextech Soul, we haven't mentioned it because it's not exactly relevant at this point in time, but it is a thing that Nongshim are going to have to try and mitigate in 10 seconds time. They're looking for Andal. He's going to try to get in there. Doesn't quite find the hook as King is taking a lot of damage. Depth Charge doesn't quite work, but now Rich is a Gwen in the front line, and my God, the damage is revolting! Jiu's dashing around, doing what he wants, public execution, but not for anyone on DRX. It's unfortunately Nongshim that are going to be executed here, and DRX are going to do it. They'll take down the inhibitor turret here on this bottom side of the map, and that is all she wrote here for game one.
Just absolute decimation. I know they're ahead, I know they're fed, but they just wiped the floor with Nongshim. And considering how favored the predictions were towards Nongshim,
I know, coming into this, you'd think they'd have to be a complete moron to predict DRX in a series like this. And now, look at how that DRX predictor's looking. He's looking better.
wow.
In game one.
A lot of 3-0 Nongshim predictors already wiped out. I think DRX, you know, a vote of confidence. The 2-0 defeat they suffered at the end of D+ was brutal, and they kind of dished out some of that own medicine in that game one.
And I want to say, I feel like the DRX vibes are just good. I've really liked how Joker has approached a very hands-on coaching role for this team. Feels like he's sort of one of the boys, and the way that he gives feedback has been like very effective throughout the LCK Cup so far. So DRX with Rich doing massive amounts of damage, kind of insane that Gio had a 5,000 gold lead. Rich got abused in the top lane and then got bailed out and just did so much work in the late game.
I can say one thing after that game. I don't think Joker's going to need to give much feedback.
No, I think the feedback is good job, guys.
Yeah.
I could give feedback for this game.
Good hustle.
Do that one again, and we are going to playoffs.
2 more times and we're done.
Exactly. And this is a best of 5, ladies and gentlemen, the first of the LCK Cup. So Nongshim, they have some time to turn it all around, but they're going to have to do so very quickly because that game was not close at all. Time for us to take a short break. When we get back, the Space is going to break down game number 1, and we'll have game number 2. See you there.
야 나오면 나 바로 공부할 수 있긴 한데 이거. 구에 자리 잡을 때.
여기 막자 얘들아. 여기 막자 여기 막자.
봐봐,
구에도
봐봐.
와줘. 구에도 와줘. 구에도 와줘.
앉아.
우리 텔.
옆에 봐도 그냥. 앞에
레이스 봐.
나 지금 싸움 좋다.
나 맞춰 줄게.
찌를게 하면 앞에서 찌를게.
나 물리지만 않을게. 이거 알아서 해줘.
그냥 거든 이거.
아 빨리 서 있어. 빨리 서 있어. 아 이거 끝났어요. 나이스.
나 궁찔게 그냥. 도와줄래 이거?
도와줄래.
5초.
바톤은 그대로 끝내면 될 듯?
우리 도공.
It's okay to get a taxi. You know?
Yeah, no, please get a taxi. I think that's the way to do it. Maybe a plane. All right, let's get into the draft here for game number 2. Nongshim chosen first pick, and so therefore they will be moving to the red side. As the Varus going to be taken away, first ban on blue once again, but different team going to be doing the honors as one more time, Xin and Bard both being banned away here by Nongshim. Not wanting to see those.
Yeah, so we got a lot of power picks let through, which are obviously going to be denied because of Fearless, but also we're kind of continuing this trend of banning a lot of things that we don't typically see banned in the first rotation.
Yeah.
With, you know, Bard, Xin Zhao. I think for DRX, Varus, and Rumble, very typical bans. And the Rise is going to get taken away as well. I think the Orianna Azir being out frees up a lot of that pressure.
I wonder what this is aiming for as far as first pick is concerned, though. Nico was banned away last time. That might be what DRX do look to ban this time as well. Jarvan is another big one. Sponge, big fan of playing the Jarvan. So it could be that he decides to go that direction. And the Nico will be banned. So J4, sort of the big pick, judging on what the bans were looking like last time.
Yeah, I mean, I think Vi, honestly,
Never mind.
The thing with the Jarvan is like first picking it, there's a lot of picks available that the Jarvan's just not super effective into, like Corki, Ezreal, kind of mitigate it. And as much as you might pick those into Vi to make Vi's life a little less easy, I still think that the point and click aspect's going to make, you know, you're still going to connect with the ult. It just means that you're a little bit further away when it does come through. I feel like we've seen Corki, when it's been into Yunara, not do as well in play-ins, but with Yunara off the Rift right now, I think G are going to feel pretty happy about picking this up. I wonder if we get a support pick coming in on 3 here for DRX, because I feel like Corki's, we've rarely seen the support paired up before the second rotation of bans. We often see the pairings just filtered away before that point. They are going to lock in the Jarvan though here.
Yep, a lot of power in the jungle. Both of these junglers pretty strong at this point in time. As rounding out of the picks, with the Talia not actually decided to be picked up, does mean that Scout gets to go towards it. Talia Vi has been quite powerful here in the LCK.
As I think a pick that Scout will feel very confident on.
Oh, I was hoping that it wasn't going to be a Scion.
Yeah.
Especially paired with Talia, I just feel like you have no damage.
Also just for Kingen, I feel like Kingen, not to critique his Scion, but just, I feel like they've had this tendency recently just to put him on tanks and kind of, you know, bear the brunt of whatever matchup he's put into, when I feel like the best we've seen from Kingen has been on more carry matchups.
Yeah.
So, looks like they will just stick him on the Scion, and it's a pretty low damage composition so far from the side of Nongshim.
And now, I mean, Rich can just play Rek'Sai if he wants to. It's sort of the pretty stock standard response to the Scion. The Cassante just fight tank with tank, but Cassante does more damagey things.
To me, I feel like Rich is more of a player who has opted into these in the past, in like recent years, like tank versus tank matchups in the top lane. Like when I think of Rich as a player, he was someone who would opt into these so much. Whereas that's why I think it's just weird of Kingen to handshake this and say, yeah, I'm down, and just go sign into Cassante. So,
well, I mean, they had the exciting damage matchup last time, and the junglers messed it all up. And so, like, the junglers are bound to ignore us if we just both play tanks, right? As Nami going to be taken away, this has been a bit of a hot choice alongside the Corki.
I feel like this always happens. This is kind of what I was talking about, is that they pick Corki in the first 3, they don't pick support in the first 3, and Nami always gets banned in the second rotation. AD carry's being banned out by DRX, Kai'Sa, and Kalista. You really need a lot of damage from your AD carry for Nongshim. It has to be a high output AD carry because there's a strong front line already, and I just don't think the rest of the composition really is going to cut through with what you have so far.
Well, one more ban to come on through here. See what Nongshim do want to take away. The Ahri going to be removed. Has been a pretty common answer, as Andor is just having a giggle. Wonder what this means as far as what he wants to be picking up. Is it theoretically... no, there's no way that they flex Corki or something like that, and that's why he's laughing. Let's see, though. It could be a Ziggs comp. You could play a Ziggs situation and then put Corki in mid lane. I think funny.
Ari makes sense because obviously the matchup into Talia is pretty good. I feel like you could play... I mean, they're looking at the Syndra. I was going to say you could play like the Aurora in this situation, but happy with the Syndra. I also think it makes Vi and Sion's jobs pretty difficult, right? Vi approaching with the Q pretty hard with the stun. Sion as well, trying to set up with his Decimating Smash quite hard. Looking like Nongshim going to go with the Ezreal Leona, and Ezreal obviously a lot of safety into the picks that DRX has. Damage output coming through the front line really comes down to whether Talon's just hitting all his shots.
Yeah. And with Leona, this is actually like the 2v2 is pretty powerful. Sunlight can be procced pretty comfortably here by the Ezreal, and you can really get some damage done in the 2v2. But you're not going to feel as bad picking something like an Alistar into it. An Alistar R5 or B5 in this case is very, very nice when Sylas isn't available. And so I think DRX is going to be feeling pretty happy with how this draft went. I'm quite worried about the damage profile here. Not the damage profile, just the lack of damage in general on Nongshim's side. But if they get off to a good lead, then it won't really matter, right? And we know that Ezreal can definitely take over a game when he does have an advantage. I mean, just look at what Teddy did the last couple of days.
I think
it was very impressive.
Both compositions is going to be about that early momentum. If either get it, it's going to make a big difference, right? The AD carries have similar spikes, but I think if it does go in the later stages, then I feel like Syndra's going to have more damage than the Talia is. The Corki also having that crit scaling. It's a lot more consistent than the Ezreal. If you are hitting the shots on the Ezreal, fantastic, right? They can do a lot, but you have to be consistent with those Mystic shots, whereas Corki can just kind of right-click. And it's as simple as that with a big crit. So we'll see how it plays out. I think DRX, a little bit easier execution on their side, whereas for the side of Nongshim, they need to really get the ball rolling. They do have more agency in the jungle this time, though. They don't just have a Rock who's kind of chilling until level 6.
Yeah, we'll see whether that is going to make the difference. We know that this team has really gotten behind Sponge and sort of his erratic ways. When they do fall in sync, it works out very well. See whether Nongshim can get back on the horse as we get into Game 2. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Onto the rift for game number 2. Let's see whether Nongshim have woken up just a little bit. One bit of good news is that everyone went to the bathroom, obviously, and we have not needed to pause the game. For that reason, means that Wolf is relaxed, you know, and everyone is feeling like they're just ready to concentrate on the game, which is great news.
Some good learnings after game 1.
Indeed.
That's the takeaways we need.
And that's what you have to focus on, you know? As Andal is using Lahenz's favorite skin and barrels, might I add, for the Alistar.
Oh, right. Yeah, Conqueror Alistar?
Yeah, it's sort of like the most cool looking, the edgiest looking Alistar is. All right, we've got supports hitting 80 carries. What were you going to say?
Is this one Marauder? Oh.
Yeah, I think that rings a bell. Nongshim just going to walk at them.
Yeah, this one's Marauder Alistar.
It's certainly one of the coolest skins. Certainly an incredibly old skin as well. It's been around for quite some time.
The ones we see are Marauder, Black Frost, or Mukau.
Yeah, Mukau is, I think, still one of the greatest skins that's ever been made.
The cowbell, when everyone was spamming that.
Oh, so good.
Good presence early from Taeyun and Lahens on this Ezreal Leona. It is a strong 2v2, and obviously Alistar doesn't offer too much presence in the early levels, even though the matchup into Leona is pretty good in general. Level 1 don't have a ton to offer.
Yeah.
I also feel like we've just seen Corki just having such limited presence in the level 1.
Whoa. Yeah, so Alistar has not been finding too much success. You can see here, everyone picking up a smorgasbord of losses on this one. The only one with 2 is Lahens in that streak. But let's see whether he is going to be able to dish out what had been coming his way earlier on. Yukal does manage to hit that cannon, and the mid lane, one of the places where DRX does have a slight advantage.
Yeah, I think ultimately just lane priority and success in the bot lane 2v2 has been so important. And I think Alistar's fallen out of favor because of that.
Yeah, it just doesn't quite work. Also, the danger of the Silas, so you can't just pick Alistairs early and just be happy about it. It's just not really a thing. Scout of the Week comes in. Scout just still having a bit of a rough time here. But Talia has always been a champion that he's been quite confident on. But at this stage of the game, UCal building splinters, throwing orbs, having a great time. Let's see whether Sponge can change things here as the Pulverize comes down. A little bit of a battle here towards his bottom side, but with no Zenith Blade, Lahen's not able to re-engage. And it looks like Sponge is just going to go for that reset. Doesn't want to waste too much time.
Yeah, that was actually super risky from Andal because the Zenith Blade misses from Lahen. So he's like, hey, I can do a quick little trade, but it's like, why did Lahen's go for the Zenith?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's Lahen's.
Well, but also, like, if Sponge had sort of felt, hey, we can make this happen, he could have just gone in.
Yeah.
Andal was a little overextended there. I mean, this is kind of us working from the spectator perspective, but could have potentially been a little dangerous. Either way.
Perspectator, you mean?
The spectator, yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, nothing really comes from it. Sponge was just kind of hovering around.
Yep. So, no harm, no foul. DRX are still behind a bit here in this bottom lane, though.
Kingen doesn't opt to take Ignite this time on the Scion.
So just doesn't want to get a double kill?
Yeah.
Or back-to-back solo kills, I should say.
Not sure why.
Well, I mean, he did lose, even though he did get back-to-back solo kills.
That's
so
true.
Maybe he thought, perhaps it is not the best.
His mid laner also has Ghost, so he doesn't have the second TP to like cover the side lane.
Ah, yes, true.
Also,
another one of Wolf's pet peeves.
He's into a Cassandra.
The Ghost Syndra situation.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Wolf's getting targeted today. It's just not very fair.
Yeah. And he's on the space where he can complain about it.
That's a good point.
You're right, as a spacer, is to complain about things.
It is. It's just pure entertainment, really. That's what we want to see in our content, is people complaining. As Rich going to find some cues here towards Kingen. The Cassante doing just fine in the matchup, but obviously it doesn't matter. The top lane is somewhere that we're only going to look at when we're bored. And by we, I mean Jonah Strong.
We got the 7-loss streak for Alistair and then the 7-loss streak for Corki. This is kind of what I mean, though. We've seen...
Has it just been Alistair Corki every time? It may have actually been.
I think it's been a lot. It hasn't
close to that.
It hasn't been all the games, but it's been a lot.
Because I think a lot of people think that Corki like wins lane comfortably, and so therefore you get to just pick the Alistair with it, and it's fine, and then you just get enchanted and die. As Lahen's going to pay a visit towards the Syndra here, as UCal tries to get rid of Scout. He was burning down, but does manage to survive, but uses everything to get out.
I think this is part of the problem we've had, is that we've seen the Corki...
Oh, they're going all out here as Rich looking for the angle onto King, and he does have flash, and he will have to use it. And Rich holds on to his high value on the ultimate out of the Cassante.
Finds a good angle. So, you know, Summoner found top lane on a King in. You can't happen to burn both, so a good trade-off, even though Lahen's obviously invested a lot to get that. Sponge going to just look to pick up Dragon here.
Yeah, should be able to take it as well with UCal making his way back to lane.
Yeah,
a lot of priority there.
So many times recently, we just haven't seen Corki having the success in lane. I think this was kind of the point I was saying in draft about, you know, do we see them pick up support in the first 3 with the Corki? They had a chance to, they didn't. You know, you think of like Corki Nami as being something that can definitely win lane, right?
Yeah.
So Genji playing that. We're just not seeing Corki Nami. We're not seeing teams prioritize their support pairing. There's been a lot of Corki Alistair, where you just end up losing out on the lane pressure. And even then, I've seen like Corki going up against things like Yunara. Yunara gets lane access, and Corki's level 1 is pretty weak, and then just you lose out in terms of pressure.
Yeah, the thing that's a bit better here is that I feel like you don't get as severely outscaled into an Ezreal.
Yeah.
Even though Ezreal does do fine in the later stages of the game, it's not like a hyper carry. They do somewhat similar things and hit similar spikes throughout the game. So maybe it's going to feel better here. But we'll just have to see. As Nongshim, with that first dragon, feeling like tempo is much better for them this game.
Here's another issue, right, for Corki being on a loss streak.
What's that?
Genji haven't played in a while.
Ah, yes. There is the ruler doesn't play often thing, and therefore doesn't get to make sure that Corki's stats are as good as possible.
Yep.
That is a definite factor, as Jiu is going to get a lot of money from wards, as we just saw there. UCal playing very respectfully, doesn't have flash. Scout does have his available, still halfway through that cooldown, so isn't the worst case scenario.
And both junglers now having ultimates available have, I mean, neither of them really doing much with the early game, even though they have the ability to, but level 6 is available can really start to make things happen.
Yep. Geo as well, now with some rockets starting to be fueled up. And we'll see whether that poke is going to start doing some things towards that bottom side to try and help them out in the matchup. Right now, there is a whole lot of summoner spells available outside of Lehenz's flash. So theoretically, some 2v2s could be going down. As Yukal picks up this wave, but tempo was there for Scout. Going to use that in order to go back home. The grubs do spawn. Haven't seen anyone really pay a visit over there just yet. Nongshim out to a decent advantage, actually, after that play in the mid lane, as Andal does use the Unbreakable Will. That's going to mitigate a lot of the damage here, and a trade of ultimates all over the place.
I think he just hit level 6 just as the ult came down from a minion. So kind of unfortunate timing for Nongshim, who were looking to capitalize just before he got it.
Oh no, that was not the time to walk up, Taeun! Sometimes the Arcane Shift comes down and the regret immediately follows as Lehenz kind of wishes he hadn't flashed in that mid lane because he is likely dead as well. No Aftershock left, and Jiu collects another double!
Yeah, I think sometimes when a game's going slowly, players can get a little bit impatient.
We're still doing push-ups!
Oh man.
All right,
Yeah.
we did. Yeah, this Ox, I hate to just be a broken record, you know, but where did that take place? In the bottom lane.
In the bottom lane.
No scuttles there.
That's true.
No scuttles to worry about.
Oh, there's a scuttle here though.
Oh dear. But
Be
look,
careful, Willa.
Willa, do not all in on the scuttle. Do not all in on the scuttle.
He wants to.
Oh, well.
Oh my God.
Wait,
This is
wait, are they
controlled.
just gonna get the scuttle? That is insane.
Who is this team?
Oh my gosh.
What did Joker do with them?
Well, Kingen might be dead here, as Rich looking for a bit of an angle once again. Doesn't have the all-out anymore.
Okay. It just kind of missed everything.
Yeah,
But you know what? I liked the gusto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gumption, a much better word.
Both good words.
Yeah.
Oh, he's like, hey, we could make a play. He just talking shit it.
Yeah. Who
And
would
then
have thought?
The thing is, Lehenz has no flash, and he has Cataclysm, so he's like 1,000,000% dead, but they're like, hey, let's just see if we can kill him without ulting.
Yeah.
And they can. But it's like, it's so nice when you have that support left over, and it's like they are so dead beyond belief. We're just trying to work out if we can kill them without using cooldowns.
Yep, just try to auto-attack them the entire
And
way.
they also gave both kills to the Corki.
Yeah, so now, even though the early laning phase didn't necessarily look the greatest for the Corki Alistair lane, perhaps we're getting out of the loss streak
Honestly,
this time around.
Crazy. I can't believe, Max, you're so foolish as to think that it would be a 3-2.
I know. Why didn't I just predict 3-0? That would have... A lot of regret. A lot of regret. It's fine.
Early days still.
It's fine.
But
The reverse sweep set up into pull it back for the last game because Andal's really good at the start and the end. Did he barrier after getting hit by the ult? Oh no. Rich pulled Kingen back now with the all out. There's the unstoppable onslaught. He's going the wrong direction though, so he's going to take a bunch of turret shots. He's just going to leave.
yeah, he's
Stage right.
Oh no, he's proxying a wave. This was intentional. It was planned.
It was the plan all along.
Yeah.
Absolutely genius.
What a champion Sion is.
Yep. Beautifully, beautifully done.
Okay, dragon fight. Top laners resetting to TP.
Lehenz does get spotted here on this flank angle. Teleport to come forward from Rich, looking to get in there. Zenith Blade goes wide. The Pulverize doesn't. Hits onto 2. There's the knockup from Willer as well as cease and desist into the backline. Finds the Corki. And it is going to be the Cloud Drake taken down. And DRX again just mop them up. Nongshim just finding no joy in this game.
Just doesn't even look close. Decimate them. We see Kingen come in, but too late to really make a difference. Scouts looking from the outside. Oh, that connects.
And the flash does get used, but a little bit late, so Yukal still gets hit by the Q. Still Rich in a little bit of trouble, but he shields himself up. He's Kasante, he's fine. And Nongshim still not able to find too much, but now maybe a dive attempt could be coming in, or Andal trying to save the player Scout. Flashes over the top, and the threaded volley connects onto the Syndra. Andal wanting to get in range of a headbutt Pulverize, but he will not get there. And finally, Nongshim are on the board, as Kingen does light up the Phaelite, but does have to get out of there. He was looking a little worse for wear.
Yeah, that play got a little bit messy towards the end, but still big bonus for DRX getting the dragon and being able to... I thought he was going to Valk into it there. And after the barrier before, I was just like, come on, Jiwoo, lock in.
I mean, he's the 3-0-1 Corki with the Trinity Force already
I
done.
know,
He's
which
fine.
makes it even funny.
He doesn't need to lock in anymore. He's like, nope, We can turn the resolution down on the monitor. You know, even if it's blurry, it'll be fine.
Okay, so this fight, we end up seeing Andal get this double knockup that disrupts the Vi and also forces Taeyun really out the fight. So Taeyun is just like, he's not here anymore. It ends up in this melee in the pit.
And the Solar Flare went completely wide.
Yeah, Sponge and Hens get decimated. You know, Kingin's only just joining now. Taeyun didn't get to do anything. Scouts out the fight. This is where it gets a bit messy, though.
This was well played.
Yeah, this got a bit crazy. This is kind of like Nongshim, like we have to get something from this.
Oh, looks to find the angle. Flashes the Scout of the Week.
Yeah, and also Kingin got a good flash there as well. Otherwise, Andal would have CC'd him on the tower. This was risky, I'll be honest, from Nongshim, but I think they're in the position now where they're like, we kind of have to make risky plays. The game is not going well, and if we lose this, it's reverse sweep or bust.
And losing the Dragon feels even worse because it's Hextech Soul again, back to back on the Electric Dragons. And so we'll see. It is a little bit better here for Nongshim this time around. It's not the double Dragon picked up by DRX. And so possibility to grab this third one, get themselves in the lead as far as that Dragon count is concerned, feel a little bit better there. As Rich and Kingin just continuing to fight. Feels like Rich is getting more done though, as once again the all-out comes on in. And another ultimate going to be used to escape here from Kingin. Rich is just having the greatest time.
Yeah.
This Cassante.
And again, Kingin opted into this. He picked Sion blind and said, hey, let's just play tanks into each other. And
Jiu has almost the same items, almost exactly the same items. In fact, it is just Steel Caps that are the difference, and I think he felt like he was a lot stronger than he actually was.
Yeah, Steel Caps definitely helping though. Yeah. AD carry 1v1. Oh, Yukal in trouble.
Yeah, Cease and Desist does come on down there. Seismic Shove does pull Yukal back as decent double knockup comes in, and oh my god, the Unleashed Power, massive damage onto the Talia, but he still managed to take down Yukal beforehand. Sponge now finding himself in a world of hurt though, as the Bouncy Castle is put up, and Lehens is unfortunately not old enough to participate, just not allowed to join, and it is just Sponge. He's going to be taken down. Yeah,
Yukal doing a good job of getting all his damage off before he goes down, just making sure that Willa can clean up, and Willa just doing the consistent damage. Cataclysmed him, and even though it's a Vi who typically can get out, he kind of like body blocked him so that if he queued, he wouldn't be able to get away. Andal playing Bouncer as well.
Is Lehens the oldest player, or is it Scout? As anyway, Taeyun once again going to get engaged on here by Jiu. The barrier does come on down for both of them. Solar Flare to pick up Jiu though, and Andal a little bit too late, or without quite as much range as the Leona. And Jiu didn't quite need to do that, but he did.
Yeah. Went in a little aggressively, and remember, he hasn't gone cleanse against a Leona, which is a little bit uncommon.
Indeed. I like the use of the word uncommon. I felt like you were searching for a different one.
So I did check, and Scout is...
Oh my goodness. Older. They are very, very, very similar ages though. It's like within 9 months of each other.
Pretty close.
And almost exactly 10 years younger than me. So there you go. Puts things in context for you, doesn't it? All right. Jiu and Taeyun doing battle once again, as Lehens was actually thinking about leaving. You could see he was actually here the whole time.
It was a great solo flare, honestly.
Yeah.
Even just the slow, I think, probably wouldn't be enough. Jiu, I think, had the damage at the end. Maybe the slow would have put him out of auto range, hard to say. But the stun lands, gets the trade kill, and Nongshim keeping themselves alive in this game.
Yeah.
Kind of pulling the gold lead back a little bit. Now starting off this Dragon here.
And there is certainly some teamfight potential. All out available Herald once again here for Rich. Massive shield as the Cassante just dives into the backline. The Herald does come on through, and it looks like DRX is just going to be able to take this Dragon without too much of a kerfuffle. Yeah, there it goes. Also grab a little bit of value here out of the Rift Herald at the same time in this bottom lane.
Interesting decision just to give up the Dragon.
Can't lose a team fight if you don't participate in a team fight, Ox.
That's true.
Checkmate.
We kind of talked about the fact that, you know, DRX, I feel like, are pretty happy to take this to the later stage of the game. You're also only really getting a bit of gold onto your Sion, which is, you know, whatever. And it's a Hextech Soul, so...
Yeah, I think contesting Dragons when it's Hextech Soul is often a good idea.
Yeah. Well, obviously didn't feel like they had the right setup for it, and opted to live to fight another day. Taeyun does have tension angle to get damage on this tower mid. Let's see if he gets to hit it here. No, he's forced away by Jiwoo, so no opportunity. But they are kind of rotating down bot, looking for some way to get a first tower.
Yeah, Sponge is also looking for some Krugs. Rich doesn't like that, but he is pushed away from his turret. Scout is down here as Lehen's moving over as well. It is Operation Let's Kill Rich, and it is going to work out as he gets a big old shield. Scout trying to find the angle. Oh, one more auto, and there's the threaded volley, but Andil just going to knock him into the sky, and that's going to mean it's a 1-for-1 in the end. Assist gold, I guess, makes it more monetarily worth it there for Nongshim, but it was a large man investment towards that bottom lane.
Just kind of showing the issue that I feel like this Nongshim comp is going to have. Rich doesn't really have much MR outside of the Merc Treads, and it took so much time for them to cut through him with the Talia.
Sponge just also lost his entire jungle, as now Taeun finds Willa.
That is very close to Jarvan. I mean, he is in the tower, so he can't really do much to you, but, you know, Taeun definitely playing very forward with his arcane shifts.
He has certainly been doing some arcane shifting this game.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's making me anxious. But sometimes that's where greatness comes from, on the edge of failure. So let's see whether he's going to continue playing that fast and loose. And Jiu, very similar story here after that 1v1 attempt from earlier on. Let's have a look at this one more time as Rich just survived for that little bit, way too long.
Yeah. And the fact, you know, he's already like 2/3 HP. You have a lot of people hitting him, and he still just survives for such a long time.
Yeah, and then the full commitment has to come.
Damage, yeah. I mean, I know Talia's it's still pretty early, but that was a completed Seraph's. I just feel like the Talia's just not offering that much damage, especially this Seraph's Rylai's build. I see real damage issues with this Nongshim composition.
Yeah,
there's a lot of frontline in the enemy team.
And if Taeun dies, what do? They just throw little rocks.
Or if you miss a Mystic shot, and not even like I'm saying it's like specifically like, oh, he missed, like he's playing badly. Like there is plenty of reasons you can miss a Mystic shot. Like someone could flash, and like you don't get the cooldown refund, and that's like such a DPS loss.
Yeah.
Or like if you have to arcane shift away and you're not in range to hit anyone. Like when Ezreal represents so much of your DPS, he's not the most reliable DPS. And the fact is you need Taeun to be just playing at a super high level consistently to be getting the value of your composition. It's very risky.
And I mean, this was the pick that he built notoriety on in the LPL. So yeah, if there's any time to channel some of that, we're going to need to see it here.
He's going to need to pop off, whereas Jiwoo just kind of needs to right-click.
Yeah.
And stay safe.
Oh, he can gattle gun and use his the phosphorus bomb. He can use some of that. Press Q a bit.
Nice. Yeah, he can do that. Get some Trinity Force procs.
Yeah. Why is Corky's Valkyrie called Valkyrie? Does it have anything to do with Norse mythology? It doesn't really fit in my brain. Is that like an aeronautical term that I just don't understand?
Maybe it's like Flight of the Valkyries?
Yeah, I guess Valkyries do fly, and he does then fly.
Yeah. I mean, it's been called that for a while.
Interesting.
I think it'd be hard to track down the original naming convention reason.
We could ask someone. We could put in a word.
Sure, someone knows.
We'll work on it. If anyone in chat knows, just let us know. All right, DRX.
Okay, Yukal has gone like the speediest build. Actually, I say that he hasn't gone the upgraded Ionians, which would truly be the speediest build. But he's gone like the Cosmic Drive, Blackfire Torch, so you constantly have the dot, which gives you movement speed, and has Ghost, and has Phase Rush. So
yeah, this is like the new favorite build.
This is like the Ferrari syndrome.
It's an homage to Ride of the Valkyries. So there you go. That's the theory. Someone in chat thinks it's a Apocalypse Now reference. There's all sorts of things. So a lot of reasons why it would be called Valkyrie is their Scat of the Week. Kingen not very weak at the moment, looking pretty healthy as the Weaver's Wall comes down. This might be able to help guarantee a Drake as Rich gets himself into position, avoids getting shoved back as well. The rest of DRX getting held away though as Taeun. Arcane shifts out of the fight, ulti from Kingen, but Rich just disengages. No one really fully committing, but Sponge is still on this dragon. And now Andil trying to get himself into the backline. Hex
the flank
to get him over there. Let's see whether Rich can find the angle as the headbutt comes in. And oh my goodness, that is not where Scout wanted to be. How did he even get there? I'm not even sure he knows at this point in time, but somehow he's now in the death chamber, and that is Soul Point going over to DRX.
such a great angle there from Andal to find Scout, and he just gets bounce housed. And, you know, we talked about lacking damage composition.
Dear. Scout of the week comes in once again. Another Hepa pulverized. This is game 2, Andal. Someone remind him, because he's playing so well. The outer turret stays alive as Taeun in a bit of trouble. That was an auto from Jiu. That one's scary. After the Trinity Force, but it looks like no more casualties apart from this turret.
Turret should just go down here. But yeah, I mean, we talked about lacking damage. If you lose one of your carries, you're especially in the bin here. It's this moment, Andal takes the Hex Gate, Scout gets flashed behind, knocked in, bounced once, bounced twice, dragged through by the Cassandra, just dead.
Yeah.
And Nongshim
The
like,
fact
well,
that it's a bounce house and you get all out of it, like you're just being thrown every single direction.
yeah. I think when you saw the Hex Gate, he just had to trade flashes with Andal, which I'm not gonna lie, if he did that, that'd be like such an insane level of foresight.
Yeah, yeah.
That is the only way he lives there. Is like he has to read the Alistair and be like, I have to trade flashes immediately, and that'd be like one of the greatest plays we've seen in the LCK Cup so far. But
And instead, it was a great play that we've seen in the LCK Cup, but on the other side.
yeah. So honestly, Andal, such a phenomenal flank there he found to just completely catch Scout out and punish him there.
And Andal has just been really having some phenomenal games this LCK Cup.
Yeah.
I think it's so far been the greatest that we've seen him consistency-wise. Is all right, Weaver's Wall does come towards the top side. Seismic Shove does go a little bit wide, but I think they've still got enough to take down the Syndra. Andal and Will are not going to be able to offer enough damage back. And so punish UCal in side lanes is an operation that has been working as we're teleporting to the Baron. All right, Nongshim. Let's see whether this is going to work out. They're going to have to clear out all the vision first, but they might be able to do this.
Rich has no TP, so he's going to be a little slow. But Taeun's not even hitting the Baron yet.
Well, Lehens is also looking for a flank angle as Andal does see that this ward is here. Rich is now moving over. They spot Lehens as Jiu looks to get himself to safety. The Seismic Shove's done nothing, and Willa finds everyone with the flag and drag as Rich looking to get into that backline onto Taeun. The Arcane Shift is good, but the flash is there. Rich doesn't hit the Q though. Taeun survives for a long time, but Scout's dead. The damage is gone, and Nongshim just invited DRX to the Baron pit and basically fed it to them.
That was such a crazy fight, and honestly, Jiu just kind of went melee mode on the Corki, flew straight in and just went, you guys don't have the damage to deal with me, and I'm just going to get maximum Gatling gun value in this situation. UCal gets caught out here. Not much you can do to outplay the Vi in this situation, and the team just isn't there in time to back him up. Killed here, and they know that Sante's going to be slow, but DRX know there's so much time. So you even see Andal going for this big flank. We see Jiu gets caught out here, gets solar flared, but they get engaged onto Scout. Rich is such a problem, and they take so long to cut through him. He's just constantly a threat on the backline. Taeun can't really deal with him. And Jiu just flies in. He's like, I am killing your DPS.
He just walked past Lehens and Kingin.
Yes, he doesn't
And then
care.
Valkyrie just in the middle of the fight.
He just doesn't care. Also, his build, he's going Bruiser Corki.
Oh yeah, he's done this every time actually. He's like the guy that really
Look at him!
Black Blade. Yeah, he's just going forward.
He's assessed. You guys don't have the damage. I am now a bruiser.
And do you know what I feel Nongshim said? When they decided to go for that Baron, they're like, we took down UCal, we took down the Syndra, they're lacking damage. You know, one of the damage dealing members is missing. Well, Nongshim unfortunately didn't draft any damage in their composition, so it was already missing on their side, and perhaps they didn't quite understand it.
Yeah, yeah. Look at that gold swing, oh my god.
Yeah, that's a decent angle here for DRX to move to match point.
It's also 45 seconds until Hextech Soul, which, yeah, that'll be pretty good.
Yeah,
for DRX.
I've seen examples of it being pretty good, and you know, as an old man, my memory is not so great. Thankfully, I can still remember today because it did happen in the last game, even if it didn't really play much of a part because the game was kind of already over.
Because we already had,
And it's going to get knocked up as Willa looking to cause a ruckus. Andal finds himself in an awkward position here as UCal ghosting around the fight. There's the Cataclysm right on top of Scout. They're looking to take him down as Rich gets into the backline and just disrupts everyone. That's two already on the floor. Taeun thinks he's in safety, but This is Cassante, and Rich is going to chase him down. Taeun and Kingen, the only ones still standing here is... Okay, Andel's going to get flashed on. He does go down, but there's the flash forward from Rich. He's underneath the turret, and he looks like he doesn't care. Maybe he should care a little, as DRX might be breaking open the base, or they might just be leaving because they're looking a little worse for wear.
I also want to know, Rich has joined the Bandle Pipers.
Oh my, another Bandle. No, wait, he was the Bandle Piper.
Yeah,
Rich was the original Bandle Piper.
He's picked up the item now, so he's...
Oh, no, but he was, because he was the original, like, Bandle Pipes.
Yes, but I'm saying he's picked up the item. So
I know.
So he has it, right?
Yeah.
He's...
Oh, right. So he's actually started playing.
He's performing.
Yeah,
yes.
he's performing.
That's
now.
the point I'm making.
Yeah, good.
Andal also has Bandle Pipes, so they're...
Maybe Andal is now actually, you know, an honorary member.
Yeah, it's a duet now.
Oh.
But yeah, Scout just seems unable to survive in this game. If I'm being real, because they have the Ezreal who gets to, you know, arcane shift around, and Yukao just flashes on him and just one-shots it. What are you supposed to do?
Yeah, I don't know.
Taeun can kite away, but he's not really capable of cutting through any of the bulk. And they don't have Hextech Soul, so yeah. I mean, just look at Jiwoo and his build and how tanky he is.
And he's got so much money as well. Level 15. It's actually even on level, so the levels aren't really much.
He just
big
keeps
deal.
valking forward.
He does, and he does it with impunity as there's the all-out. On top of Taeun is Rich, is looking for the angle, but there are a lot of bad guys around him. He doesn't have much to get this one done. There's the Weaver's Wall. Rich survived for way too long as Willa. I mean, Taeun is still firing out damage, but Sponge is just dead. And Jiu, he has a Valkyrie, and he's not afraid to use it. Taeun, oh, well, he maybe, okay, could have used it a bit better than that, but that's fine. That is 2 dead for Nongshim, 1 for DRX, and Hextech Soul was already there. Like, this is already a really rough time. Wait, hang on.
I think Scout's in a little bit of trouble.
I think Scout may have just realized that the trouble has arrived. Scout of the Week comes in, Pulverize, and he's dead.
How many deaths is Scout on in this series?
6.
Oh,
right. It's got to be around 12-ish. I remember looking at Scout's scoreline when he was 0 and 5, and I believe died again before the end of the game.
He's not had a fun time, I think it's safe to say.
I would agree.
Jiwoo seems to be having a great time, though. Maybe a bit too much fun. His Valkyries per minute is off the chain.
Just doing it off cooldown.
Yes, into the wall as well.
It's like he thinks that he got an augment that gives you permanent damage amp every time you Valkyrie. So it's kind of like you're playing Nasus.
Maybe he does, honestly, at this point, because he's just spamming it.
No. Is this Nongshim fans? Nongshim fans?
I need to know.
They're not going to have
fan
a great time.
who walked 350 kilometers, please tell me that's a DRX fan. Because that's
God.
Oh my God.
Well, maybe they're setting up for the most incredible reverse sweep that we have ever, or at least a reverse sweep that we have seen at all time.
Yeah, I hope that fan doesn't start. It's like, I got 350 kilometers to walk back. I'm going to start walking back now.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you need to win around, please.
That would be, surely they're not going to leave early after, you know, putting in all that effort.
I mean, what difference does it make? It's a rounding error at that point.
That's a very good point. All right, DRX, once again, just kind of marching towards the end of this game. And it doesn't really look like Nongshim are going to be able to cause too much of a deterrent. There is some flank angles, sort of, here is what Sponge is doing. He's on a brush, thinking about where he wants to go next. Maybe he's going to camp here for 2.5 minutes.
You can just stay in that brush, honestly, Sponge. I think it's okay. No, he wants to go.
All right, well, here's the flank. Solar Flare doesn't do too much. The Weaver's Wall goes down there. They're looking for Jiu. Let's see whether they can take it. The Pulverize is great peel, though, and Scout is already running so incredibly far. Lance is going to get taken down. Jiu is still okay. Valkyrieing for fun in the middle of the lane. Taeun's dead, so much of the damage is now missing. And there's that bouncy castle we were talking about. That is going to spell the end of King, and Scout had actually gone a really large distance away, but it wasn't far enough to get away from Willa.
Jiwoo's just too tanky. He just kind of stands there and absorbs it all, and then says, you know what?
And what? Yeah. No, I'm Valken along. It was sort of just driving through. It wasn't going very far, doing very much, but he was pressing W while he was getting there. DRX are going to look to do it again, move themselves to match point in this series against Nongshim. I didn't even think this was going to be the match matchup yesterday, and now DRX are finding angles 2-0. Is it just going to be a sweep? That'd be ridiculous.
I mean,
surely not.
I mean, no matter what happens from here on out, this is clearly just such a huge overperformance for most of the Predators thought, right? Obviously, there was one DRX faithful who saw...
No, I didn't see this, though.
Okay,
I
fair
predicted
enough.
3-2.
Yeah, I mean, it could still be a 3-2. But, yeah, I mean, DRX just looking in phenomenal form, clearly bouncing back so well from the loss to D+, and...
Once again, hats off to Joker. Like,
I mean, one of the big questions was, how would they look without Coach Voice? What are they going to be too reliant on it, that once Coach Voice is gone, they're going to look a lot weaker? And does this mean that Coach Voice worked? Because I want to remind you of the numbers,
or does
right?
it mean that Coach Voice really didn't work, and now that DRX don't have it, they're way better?
Well, I mean, the thing to think about, right, is that out of 48 potential uses of Coach Voice, they used 46, which is crazy.
And
what does that mean?
Improved.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. As you can see, Taeun did a lot of damage, but unfortunately, it wasn't all that consequential. That's the problematic part. And Giu, Valkyrie doesn't do a whole lot of damage, right? And so, well, it actually does do a fair bit, but that was what he was mainly focused on here in this game. It was very impressive stuff here from DRX, an unprecedented 2-0 start to this best of 5, but there is still a potential 3 more games that we have in us, ladies and gentlemen, okay? So it could just be that Nongshim get that reverse sweep, and then we get that full 5, the beautiful silver scrapes, and it's going to be okay. Let's go to a short break. When we get back, the space to break it down, and then let's hope that Nongshim finally show up.
들어가면 안 돼 이러고?
살짝 여기.
낯설만 한데?
까비 3라인 하고 보자.
본다 미드 본다.
괜찮아.
라텔. 바이 높은 애들아.
한 번도 절대 안 죽어. 바이 보자 바이. 앞에. 공 맞아줘.
라인 살려볼래 라인?
사연 노고.
오케이. 이게 대조커의 템플이? 근데 뭔가 끝낼만 하지.
Achieve World Championship. Okay, let's get into it here as the draft has begun. Once again, it is going to be first pick here for Nongshim. I was wondering whether they were going to experiment with some second pick shenanigans, but not going to happen. We are just doing rinse and repeat, same thing as last time.
Yeah, so interesting that DRX are banning the Rise here, because that was something that last draft Nongshim were banning on their 3rd ban. So DRX have immediately taken it off the cards, which especially starts to be interesting when you think about the things that DRX were locking down with their bans, which was Varus, Rumble, Nico. So assuming that Nongshim, obviously can't ban all of those, one of those big picks are going to be able to make it through. Rumble's going to be taken off the cards, Nocturne going to be banned, Xin Zhao open, Varus open, Nico open. What's going to be let through? What's going to be taken away?
I think the Varus needs to be banned. I think that's certainly something that should not be allowed to get through. Especially when it's Taeun, like he has been a bit of a Varus guy since he debuted here in the LCK.
Nongshim have been banning Xin Zhao every single draft, and they did just ban Nocturne, so maybe they continue banning it? No, they're banning the Nico. So with DRX, do you trade, or do you just ban the Varus and say, okay, Nongshim gets Xin Zhao here?
And I don't feel like Xin Zhao is exactly the biggest prize, but it seems to be sort of assumed that it is.
Yeah, I mean,
in the
Nongshim
series.
first rotation banning it. They're actually Jace ban coming through, so they're gonna trade. It's interesting that Jace has just been consistently overlooked.
Yeah.
Most banned champion in the LCK Cup so far, and it just has been consistently overlooked so far in this series.
I find it crazy that you don't just ban the Varus, though. I think Jace has been so up and down as far as its performance. So hopefully they've got a little bit of a plan of how to get to Taeyeon to take him down. But the Aurora and the Xin Zhao, already a fair bit of power being demonstrated here.
I also think as far as junglers go, the Xin Zhao has a good amount of sustain, and also the ult kind of limits, like, it's kind of frustrating for the Varus, right? Because you have that burst that he can just kind of mitigate. The Aurora also is one of these champions that can actually cause issues for the Varus, being that you're mobile. A lot of champions can't reach him very easily, but Aurora can always be a threat. Sponge considering the Trundle, but it looks like he's going to lock the Victor right now.
All right.
It could be a flex on the Aurora. Don't know whether it's mid or top, but the Victor going to be secured for Scout. Scout has had a struggle so far, and on picks that you would typically expect him to be having a good time on with the Orianna Talia. Gonna go for the Victor and just lock in a control mage for himself again.
Yeah, I was going to say, for a change, not really the case, as here is a Wukong consideration for Sponge, certainly one of his old favorites, but doesn't exactly make us go, oh wow, here's the ace in the hole. It's not really that. That would require Caitlyn, I guess, technically.
I wonder if DRX go for like a Sivir here.
Wow.
Into the Varus. I think it's one of these picks where the Spell Shield really helps to mitigate the pressure from the poke, and also you can just shred waves. I think the laning pressure from Varus is mitigated, but also just like that, I'm going to sit mid and poke you out and clear the waves. Sivir can do that too, and the poke is just kind of negated, so I think it makes a lot of sense, and also has a ton of scaling, so a good pickup, I think, for Jiwoo.
Yep. You can also ricochet a lot, and you can use decoys to bounce further, which is kind of cute with the Wukong. So there is certainly some synergy that they have available for themselves. Now, next round of bans to come through, and we'll see what is going to be targeted. I imagine supports are going to still receive some chopping block. That is going to continue.
They ban the Rel here, but we often see Rakan paired with the Wukong. That being said, you know, it is first pick for the side of Nongshim, so maybe Rakan something you don't necessarily want to blind with the Varus. And to be fair, Rakan into Sivir, you don't have a ton of pressure in lane, right? Just because the spell shield is really... Rakan W is so telegraphed.
Yep.
Lulu ban, though, I think makes a lot of sense.
I think that needed to be banned.
Yeah, you could honestly even run Sivir Karma as well, although I think Karma may be a little bit vulnerable. If Karma gets hit by a Varus ult, you're kind of just dead.
I also think that Andal is so necessary on engage, and so they need at least something that can do some sort of engage role. And with Alistar, Nautilus, and Leona all taken away, and now Rel and Rakan,
yeah,
I mean, the engage support pool is now very thin.
Yeah, I think the Rakan ban makes sense though, with the pairing it has, and I think especially this might end up with what Nongshim has so far. You might just end up fully diving, trying to take out Jiwoo on this Sivir with the Wukong, and also the fact that you have the Arcane Storm from Victor. When you start getting those resets, it gets a ton of power. Kennen ban going to come through. Does this mean Kingdom's just looking to pick up a Renekton?
Could be. That Aurora is still flexible, and so could be somewhat dangerous. Although, I mean, anything that you pick into Aurora is going to have a bad time, so maybe he doesn't really feel too worried about it. Sivir Karma is what they are going to elect to go for.
Yeah, so it's a strong lane, a lot of pressure, a lot of poke, and does mean you have a ton of movement speed to set up the rest of the team. Also Enchanter with the Xin Zhao, very powerful, but the Karma can be a bit vulnerable. You know, Sivir's harder to pressure for the Varus, but you can just kind of ult the Karma. They were toying with the idea of Soraka, because Soraka is really good into Karma, because if you trade Qs, the Soraka wins, because you trade damage and she sustains it. The Renekton very telegraphed with the Kennen ban. They probably can just play Nara into it for the side of DRX, though, which is probably what they'll do.
Yeah.
Are they going to go for something like the Soraka, though, here for the side of Nongshim? Are they, like, fully dialed into we want to win?
Or is it
bot lane 2v2? Or are they like
Shens? Do we get, you know, an Elise or a Shen or one of the Lehen's picks for right now? Might be something that he heads towards, but instead it's Renata.
I don't like this.
I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I guess you do still have some range and the bailout can work, but bailout doesn't synergize with kind of anyone.
Yeah, it's like, you know, it's like an anti-dive pick, but for the side of DRX, I don't think DRX has a huge emphasis on needing to dive in. Also, Renata into Karma, you're going to get poked out. You know, you're not picking a range pick that's going to really help you necessarily win the 2v2 bot massively. Like, it's still a winning 2v2 for G1 Andal. They're going to poke you out, they're going to harass you down. And then when it comes to team fights, I feel like, you know, there's still going to be more power on the side of G1 Andal anyway. And it's not like you have that engage power that's going to sync up with the Wukong. Like, we've seen Renata get massive value in the 5v5s. If you can get massive ults off, then sure, right? You can definitely take over fights. But I just think it doesn't sync super well with what the rest of Nongshim have. Yeah.
And I think there is going to be enough with the Xin Zhao being able to mitigate a lot of what Varus wants to do, things like this, that will allow DRX to still have a pretty good time in this game. Varus has been permanently banned here in the LCK Cup, though, for a reason. It is extremely strong. We know that Taeyoon has put a lot of hours into this champion on stage and off. And so if there's a time to lock in, it's absolutely now. Nongshim, the noodles will not be any fresher than they are right now. And they are all of a sudden starting to look not as fresh as they were previously. Let's see whether it is going to be a Nongshim win or whether DRX is just going to run away with it. Let's get into game number 3. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for game number 3. Nongshim, we were surprised that they were even here.
Oh, I've just realized, because I was thinking one of the things that really...
Oh, wait, he's actually playing on hit.
Yeah, because one of the things that really with the Varus doesn't go well is if you go poke Varus with Renata, it just like burst
the bailout does nothing.
Renata, it just doesn't work. You need sustained damage. So they've actually opted to go for the on-hit Varus. The issue with that is a big reason for the priority on Varus is specifically his poke build. So this is definitely a different flavor. In terms of the lane matchup, I do think the poke Varus is going to fare better into this matchup. Sorry, the on-hit Varus is going to fare better. The poke Varus, you know, you're so much based around your abilities, it's going to get spell shields, not going to do as much. Whereas the Renata and the on-hit Varus, you can play around your lethal tempo. If you get some consistent autos, you'll have a better 2v2. You know, this is clearly Taeyoon on the hands going, look, we want to have a better 2v2. We want to pair up stronger. The downside to it is when it comes to your 5v5, you have to be in range to auto-attack. And being in range to auto-attack against this enemy composition is really difficult.
Yeah, it's Aurora, Xin Zhao, Na. So it's going to be a bit of a struggle here.
You're also going to be sped up by Sivir Karma.
Yeah.
And you're in a mobile Varus. So you'll do more DPS, you'll have a better lane. These all sound like really good things, but you're just going to have so much of a harder time positioning.
And let's look, maybe Taeyoon can just do it.
I mean, that's the thing. You know, the potential, right? If you can absolutely just position perfectly, you know, you play around the bailout, Lahen's peels for you, gets massive hostile takeovers, then the potential is there, right? You have more DPS now, which was potentially an issue in the situation to like a Xin Zhao and Na, into like the shields from the Karma. But it's big ifs and buts, right? But at least now I feel more confident in that lane 2v2. So we'll see how it plays out.
And that has been where they found a lot of success.
Yeah.
Is in that 2v2. Just to give you a little bit of an update, it was a bit of a sponge audio situation, and we then fixed it. And so now we're back in lane. Level 2 is going to be under control here by Nongshim. A little bit of ricochet value there from Jiu. As they look to hold on to this last minion, try and keep this wave as close to their turret as they can. As should be probably all right. We just really haven't seen a lot of on-hit Varus more recently.
Yeah.
I believe I like mentioned it and then felt silly for mentioning it because it's only poke.
It's been very much about the poke Varus. It's just interesting how much the dynamic changed just by changing, you know, the keystone and the runes.
Yeah.
Also, he hasn't gone cashback, so he's gone Cosmic Insight. because he wants to reduce cooldown on summoners. He's like, I really need my flash, but this means that he'll just be down gold. So every completed item, you know, you're essentially losing about 250 gold compared to your opposition. It's something you have to factor in for the whole game.
Oh, speaking of things that are happening, it's just trading. These two teams just constantly hit each other with stuff. Flash forward, and there's the death ray. Solo kill from Scout, he's back!
On a Victor at level 3. That is something you don't see every day. Scout,
that was sick.
Bringing out this pick with confidence, following his flash with the laser. I think, honestly, if he'd just gone in and he'd just burnt his flash, that's kind of what I expected, but he tracks him, gets the solo kill. Crazy to see in that situation.
That was amazingly well played. Boomerang Blade is going to go wide, is now Nongshim. Look to try and turn it here towards his bottom side. Will is making his way in, but there's the tether. Taeun in a bit of trouble. Sponge comes down. Audacious charge to come forward is the last auto. Bailout is going to be there. Is it going to proc? The answer's no.
That was close.
The burn
that was close.
is really misleading because it almost looks like they have Ignite. There is no Ignite there. The flash! Oh! And Andal picks it up with the Mantra Q. Oh my goodness. I thought like he's playing Karma now, so he's not going to have like the game-breaking performance anymore because like this champion's boring. No, not when Andal plays it, I guess.
It's just Andal. It's just Andal. He just finds the way to make the impact. And a pretty well-performing 2v2. We'll see the replay here of Scout finding this. So it's pretty close, and Yukal's trying to move up, I think, to get the passive proc, but then uses his Q on the wave there. Q from Scout there, the auto and the E.
Yeah, manages to proc the auto.
Fade away.
Doesn't even need to see.
Yeah, the root tether comes in here. And the spell shield as well from Jiwoo. That Q as well, and that last auto.
And then Andal just walks up, spots him. He's like, all right. Damn. Really well played. And so 1-1. Scout holding things down here in the mid lane. That's why things are very, very even. And there is still a bit of a CS lead for Taeun as well. He didn't die. As Lehens is now moving back down once more. Taeun moves in. Good handshake there as they look to try and take on Andal, who's running away as far as he can. Doesn't have the flash though, remember. As they look to turn now onto Jiu. There is just full vision control here for DRX as Andal moves in. Maybe a little bit too far as there's the bailout. And it doesn't work. Now Lehens is likely to be dead. The handshake comes on through, but Jiu's like, I'm glad you're being polite. However, I still want to kill you as there's the Inspire Shield. And the Q, is it going to connect? Oh, the Comet was almost enough. And Force of Will doesn't quite get there. And Sponge is going to be able to keep his support alive. But it's still a disaster. And now Rich is looking to try and kill Kingin, but it barely works. Oh my gosh. So many very close exchanges.
And Andal doesn't overstep, doesn't chase for the kill. Respects the fact that Sponge, I don't even think he saw him. I'm not sure if he did, but just respects the fact he could be there. Or maybe he did see him, but either way, backs off. Man. But actually, I think there was a moment in the 2v2 that Andal actually played really well. I hope we get the replay. But he let the passive stacks fade off before re-entering the fight. And that's the reason Taeun didn't actually get to kill him. So if we actually watch here, passive stacks are built up now. He's got the 3 grenades around him. He walks off, and he stays in the brush, waits. They time out.
Oh,
so now he has to restack him. Then he gets Mantra W. So he doesn't get to proc the passive stack. Otherwise, he probably would have just died. And then the Mantra W early does so much healing as well. And I feel like him just dipping out, dropping aggro essentially, and then coming back in. Taeun was like, you know, trying to just focus down a target, get a kill. And just that juggling of aggro from Andal and Jiwoo was so well played there. And now Taeun and Lehens feeling really bad, down 2 kills in this lane.
Again! I mean, this bottom lane has just been a catastrophe for Nongshim. DRX are just firing on all cylinders today. They've had some of... They had their Wheaties, you know? They got some of Michael's secret stuff. I have no idea what it is. Choose your reference, but it's been working. As now Sponge goes in only level 5 though, no Cyclone, so the monkey is not as scary. This guy though is. As Scout walks down, there is an Aurora moving over. There's the Cyclone picked up. As Sponge looks for another one. There it is. Lehens gets the handshake as Willer is going to get taken out. And Taeun is now on the board. Yukal looks to bounce back. But Nongshim, they manage to find their target. They take down the enemy jungler, and that should mean Dragon as well.
Yeah, definite overstay there. As soon as you see Scout, that should be a signal to back away. definitely a more dangerous member than everyone else who'd been hanging around there. And a lot of summoners had to be being expended by DRX to get away from the situation. It's just an overstep here. And the thing is, they see him on that control board. They know he's coming down. They had ample time to disengage and get out of this, but they keep staying up, stepping up. And you see Yukal on the map. Look how far away he is.
Yeah. Maybe they just didn't expect Sponge to hit level 6 off that Scuttle. Like,
they should know the timing.
Yeah.
Of the Scuttle Crab. Really.
And also, they shouldn't have been there even if Cyclone wasn't available.
Yeah. So, disrespecting the level 6 from Sponge on that Scuttle Crab. I think maybe that was that thought process. So, like, we get the Scuttle Crab, we can get the 6 for Willa and then play around that. But
Yeah,
either way, an overstep that allows Nongshim a route back in the game, and now gold is even. Even in the bot lane as well. Taeyun now actually a little bit ahead in gold. Nothing really to write home about, but that is one thing, again, I brought this up earlier, but it's also a cull on Jiwoo. So the fact that you have a Sivir with a cull and with cashback.
Yeah, it's a bit of extra, you know, economic prowess.
Yeah, that's definitely, you've invested heavily.
Yeah.
Going to be some dividends late in this game.
Good portfolio here for Jiu. As Nongshim dealing with now Sivir that is very comfortable, clearing out waves over and over again. And so that gap in CS and that money number is not really going to be too much of a worry here for DRX going forward. Yukal does have some shoes that he put together. Scout heading towards Rod of Ages, his favorite item.
Honestly, the biggest lead so far is Rich in the top lane, who, other than that, like, early game play.
He's got a cull too.
Yeah, he's also investing.
Yeah.
No cashback though. But early on, he got sort of bullied out a bit by Kingen at level 3. But he's been doing well in the matchup. Obviously, it's Nan and Renekton, but we've seen this lane be a lot more even than this at times. But I think Kingen has often just borne the brunt of bad matchups in Nongshim games, not necessarily been given the weight in draft to have a favorable scenario. But, you know, we saw Cassante into Sion for Rich was going really well, and now Na into Renekton. He's having a great time.
Yeah, I feel like they've been drafting for Rich as well.
Yeah.
Almost Nongshim are drafting for him, to be honest, because they're the ones that blinded the Renekton. But Rich has loved Na, like, since the beginning of his career when he joined League of Legends from Heroes of the Storm. Like, this was one of his wheelhouse champions. We always used to speak of Rich as like this mastery guy, right? He only really had a few strings to his bow, but this was one of them. And so very happy to be on this now, being the frustrating point on the map. And we'll see whether that is going to get them some advantages later on in this game, because right now things are a lot more even this time than what we saw in the previous 2 games. And the biggest thing is the fact that Scout is having a better time. And I think that if they can play around Scout and how big he's going to be, that will be huge, as Rich just going to gnaw the wave, because you may as well.
I mean, there's definitely a confident DRX that can make any immobile champion feel a bit uncomfortable, but it's also pretty short range, so you start getting resets on that Victor ult, it's just going to decimate the other team if you are fed. And he is going towards the Rod of Ages, so will be a little bit bulky on top of that, hard to just pop. It's once again not going to be a Chemtech solo.
Well, that's good. That is certainly... Is it another Hextech solo, though? That's the question. That's what I'm really worried about. If we get 3 in a row, that's kind of crazy. I mean, what's the color of it is blue as well, and DRX have been winning these last 2 games. Coincidence? Yes. It's, in fact, the definition of a coincidence.
Or is it?
Well, that's the other thing. Is there's something... Like, some of the DRX logos have also looked a little bit electronic, you know? A little bit electrified. Cool. I don't know, tinfoil hat's starting to hurt.
Getting a little bit too deep.
I'm going to have to take it off. All right, Nongshim going to push in this bottom wave. Let's see whether this dive is going to work, as Willa down here towards this bottom side, but he is leaving. Looks like they're not even going to opt in for it. Willa just goes back home and does manage to complete his first item. That's going to feel great. Sundered Sky done.
Yeah, I think it's so hard to really find too much pressure against a Sivir and a way to set up the wave. So we'll just back away now. And look at that Dragon in 40 seconds might be the point of contention. With Nongshim having the first one, I think DRX want to put their foot forward and set up for it. Early Mikhail's coming out from Andal. Which I assume is just really... I mean, it has value against King and Stun, but also the hostile takeover, the Chains of Corruption. So a decent amount of options for it in this situation.
Gio also might decide to run around in a gravity well. You never know.
It happens, you know, to the best of us.
Exactly. And also, you may just strategically want to do that. Like, that's the safest place for me to stand. Mikhail's me. You know, that might be the thing. As Kingen, every time these boomerangs hit, it seems to be proccing Hyper, and it seems to be really hurting. And Rich, oh, he doesn't get to pick up the house. Feels bad. It's all right. Now DRX thinking about starting off this dragon. Nongshim looking for double. They do have the Wukong in the area as now Taeyoon takes a double tap from the boomerang blade. Yukao losing out in this mid lane though. I mean, this is the big thing that we were talking about. And for dragon control, mid lane is so important. Scout going to be able to get this wave shoved in. That should give Nongshim a lot of power.
It's just a bot priority, a bit of an issue right now, so it's kind of a balance in that. See these double control wards from Nongshim here, allowing Sponge to start off the dragon, but his bot really can't connect with the jungle. And will it even get some poke on it?
They can't.
Out, not something you typically expect to see.
Yeah, the win becomes lightning poke. You love to see it. It's all right, Gio's cleared out that wave. Nongshim are going to look to get in here. Hostile takeover does nothing because there's a Mikhail's already built up. Willa gets out, is now Chains of Corruption. They go wide. Gio trying to kite this one out, and there's the bailout, but the flash was too good. Out of Gio, the bailout does nothing, and now Scout's in trouble. Yukao's cleaning up. And yeah, there's that gravity well we were talking about. Wish he still had the Mikhail's because he could run on it, but it doesn't matter. Nongshim are lying on the floor, and that should be the first dragon for DRX, and a denial of the double to start this one for Nongshim.
That was actually such a clean fight from DRX. There was just some small micro plays that were actually so slick. I feel like Andal and Gio in particular with some really nice ones, and now Scout in big trouble.
Yeah, he is going to get snared once again. There's that gravity well. But there's the spell shield, and it's a Cloud Soul. Love to see that as Boomerang Blade comes on in. Gio just wants nothing to do with this, and he's happy to give the kill over to Willa, and they will tidy it up. Oh dear, okay, so this is the first time that we're going to see a soul other than a Chemtech. And DRX, they're fighting in the river this time, and it still works.
And Andal buffers the Mikhail's to self-cleanse. You have to time it perfectly and does that. And then Gio gets the fade away with the Q flash to proc the bailout, so he just has no one to kill. So both bot laners from DRX, I mean, the buffer from Andal was just so nice to not get caught by the hostile takeover.
Oh, man.
And that fade away.
Just beautifully done.
Just, I mean, they're just on fire right now.
All right, well, I mean, we shouldn't be surprised because DRX did this to Nongshim last time. Maybe the surprising part is that it's looking like Nongshim have absolutely no way to win anything in this series. Because they at least won a game last time around.
Yeah, and at this point, looking like Nongshim are going to struggle to win this game.
I mean, this is crazy though, man. Because it was Year of Dudu first, and then I tried to sell Year of Vikla. Has it just been Year of Andal all along?
It might just have been Year of Andal.
Maybe it's just everyone's year.
It's a lot of years.
Maybe we just get to, like, we can choose a month. Like, each player can have a month. We'll make a calendar. And that way we can include. I love
just doubling down on the years.
All right, let's just have it can be loads of different people's years. There's a Crescent Guard in the back line. Scout taking a lot of damage, and he's just dead before he can really do anything at all. Between Worlds, and Taeyoon is so far up. It's a flanking Sivir, but somehow it's working. Down goes the Varus. The rest of Nongshim are looking to exit, and the Crocodile, yeah, just went the way of all the other dinosaurs, I think.
Once again, playing so well, they instantly take out Scout, unable to do anything with a mobile Victor, and the cleanup is just so swift. More gold in the pockets of DRX. Herald picked up as well. Well, I say that. Looks like there might be a Sneaky Monkey.
Sneaky Monkey comes in. Willa in a little bit of trouble here, and that is just a dead Xin Zhao, and should be a free Rift Herald, but they are pinging. Sponge is going to have to get this one done quickly. Picks up the eye, and now Gio is in melee range of a Wukong. Sponge is dead.
Okay, well, Herald secured. Big down. I think Sponge, that was the correct individual play from him, but overall, still very bad for the team.
Don't look at the top of the screen.
Yeah, Scout's walking over on Vision. Willa just gets on top of him, and they just blow him up. No flash, not much you can do. Also, ult comes out and Andal, just kills. So the Varus value is just so heavily reduced because of that first item buy. Gio is playing on the flank, but really respecting the threat, and only moves up when Yukao's there to back him up. Varus gets taken out so quickly. The extra movement speed that this team has just means these immobile carries on the side of Nongshim can't do much. And then this was cheeky from Sponge.
Yeah.
This was the silver lining.
Yeah, it was a cute play. It was a cute play.
Yeah.
Giving more money to the Sivir feels bad. And actually, it was Rich that got the kill, right? Pretty sure. Yeah, 1-0-1 here on the Nah. As we're fighting again, Lahen's in a little bit of trouble as Gravity Well goes down. Another Chains of Corruption does go wide. It has always been one of the more difficult to hit skill shots for everyone. As Between Worlds goes Yukal, looking for some angles here as everyone taking so much, but Nongshim will at least be able to limp away to safety. Jiu is pushed very far up, but look at this.
They did
fire,
actually
movement speed.
They slowed down the Chains of Corruption a while ago as well, so it does feel very late.
Yeah, it's even more difficult to hit now.
Yeah.
Talk to
But
Yellow
especially
Pete. Like, release Varus was so hard to hit that off.
when you're playing into a Sivir and then the Karma's already got Mikhail's, it's just like, why even bother?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Game's not looking good. It's 18 minutes and there's a 7.7k gold lead. So DRX in full control, and it's kind of hitting desperation point for Nongshim in this game, in this series, and in their chances for making playoffs. They're looking for Rich now, though, and he
did flash. Now we've got Willa moving in. Look at that angle. Fantastic use of the ulti. Hostile takeover, but there is the ult out of Rich as well. Just knobs them back. Doesn't have much left in the tank. There's a teleport also there, so Rich is still very dead. But he made them work for it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Nongshim going for picks when people isolate. This is what you have to do, but it's a lot committed for just one kill. Andal is on vision, though.
They are canceling backs.
This is 2
now
kills.
Andal is dead. Oh, gets himself a big old shield. Never mind, he's alive. And now King has been baited, knocked up, destroyed. That's Yukal grabbing a kill for himself. Andal, everything he does is on purpose. Everything he does is with a reason, and that reason is beyond any of us.
Look, all I'm going to say is if a support Karma walks into a brush and you can't kill her in that scenario, my feelings about your chances in this game, not very high.
Yeah, that's a very good point as well.
Yeah. Does not inspire too much faith or confidence.
It does inspire, though, because it's Karma.
Yeah, true. She was inspiring.
All right,
and Andal's back on the Rift. Dragon picked up for Willa. If this team gets Cloud Soul, goes without saying, it's just...
Oh, God. Okay, there's another handshake. But Andal is just going to slow him down. Chains of Corruption goes wide. Andal, of course, is able to walk past it. It just feels really bad because DRX walks so fast. You can't hit a skill shot as, speaking of which, Rich also going to miss Lahen's. He's hopping over that wall, guys. Fadeaway house, not enough. So it doesn't actually get over there. Still, DRX very, very happy with this one.
Already so fast.
Yeah, so fast, and there's Cloud Rift as well. Like, it's just so unfair.
I'm not sure we're going to get to Soul, but I kind of do want to see DRX get Cloud Soul just to see how fast they would be, because, you know, we love science. We love to see
We could do a race between Yukal going through one of the walls of his ult and any other player just walking.
I think Jiu
might be faster.
With Ghost, ult, and Andal speeding him up. He needs Shirelli's as well. Needs Shirelli's as well.
He needs to hit an enemy as well.
Yes, he can do like a Q, like a Q behind him, so he's running away from it.
Yeah.
And it like clips someone as he's running for the max speed.
That would be, he'd be very, our point is, his team is quick.
Yeah.
And they're also running away with this series before Nongshim's really realized it.
I think they realized it.
Well, I mean, I hope so.
They're just helpless.
They just haven't done anything about it.
Yeah, I think they're trying. Struggling, but trying.
So, like, actually, what Joker and DRX did after their series yesterday, they actually just went back and said, no, we should do that.
Yeah, no, that is legitimately...
And then they're doing it.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's a good strat.
It is. It makes so much sense, and it seems so simple. It shouldn't work, but that's exactly what they've done. They're just crushing them. Oh, man.
All it boils down to is just win game, crush them, destroy Nexus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the, like, make way more money than your opponent, take all of the stuff on the map, kill Nexus. And it all seems so simple.
Is this what Gen G has been doing this whole time?
I think so. Oh, maybe that's what it was. Maybe Rich still has his key left over, and he went back to the Gen G headquarters and he snuck in and he found like Arnold's drawer with all the secrets in it, and he's like, this is what it is. Make more money. Destroy Nexus.
That's literally going to happen this game because Jiwoo cashed in his call and has cash back, so he is literally just printing more money.
I think this is like the plot of a Deus Ex game or something. All right. DRX are just really playing very well in today's match. It's kind of insane. Maybe they just match up well into Nongshim because this will not be the first time that they beat them in a series, this LCK Cup. It was a 2-1 last time, though. DRX have just gotten better at it over time. As Rich is going to spot Sponge, and Sponge is just going to not be allowed to do his Gromp anymore, I guess. Andal's also now looking for the monkey. He'll slow him down, but not going to dive. I think that's wise as a support Karma. Okay, Yukal just danced into the wall.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, what is the angle?
Yeah.
You know, I think what...
Be patient, wait for the throw.
I think what they need to do from this position is DRX need to just take Baron and then end the game. I've solved it. That's how they win.
Hang on, wait. They could just do the same logic that DRX did. And that is, like, get more money, kill Nexus.
Oh, are you talking... Oh, no, Nongshim... Oh, no, I was talking about DRX. I don't know how Nongshim win.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking about how...
Oh,
okay. You were talking about how Nongshim... Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. I was talking about how DRX win.
Yeah, no, the DRX win version, a little bit easier.
Yeah.
We don't pay you the big bucks for that one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you want me to figure out how Nongshim win?
Yeah.
Oh.
Riddle me that one.
No, that's way more difficult.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Come on, you gotta earn your keep, all right?
Yeah,
Pray.
I'm a little bit stumped on that one.
It's looking real rough. I mean, they have a...
Wait, did you say
God,
Prey?
I didn't even want to try.
No,
Yeah.
they have Taeyun.
Oh, Taeyun, yeah.
Yeah,
sorry,
different players.
that's my fault. You know, Rich came out of retirement. I thought Prey did as well. They were on a show together. That's all right. Kian just going to be forced away. Even Yukal's doing more damage than feels like he should after getting solo killed level 2 or 3.
Well, Dragon's up in 15. I don't think he contests that. I think that we know.
Hey, yeah, here's a silver lining to the cloud is the fact that Nongshim did get the first Drake. So, a bit later before DRX run way too fast.
Yeah. Also, they haven't lost any towers. Oh, no, wait, that's DRX again. Never mind.
So this is your new theory. When the game is basically unplayable, you're like, you know what? I'm going to stop trying to fish for win conditions unless it's the team that's winning.
It's just... Okay, look.
You don't need to clutch at straws if it's just only straws.
Look, they have engaged tools, okay? I think they just need to get them on Baron and big hostile takeover. That's the pitch, you know?
Actually,
combo.
If they do all of their AoE buttons and DRX are all standing on each other,
Yes.
they will likely die.
That's the pitch. That's the pitch.
Is
Do it
this
now.
part of
No.
Okay, let's see whether they can get it done as Rich just bounces over. Hostile takeover was... I can't do the Draco's quote, I don't think.
It hit no one.
It's damn well missing. As the Brambleback is also looking hostile.
Wait, that'll bait them on a Baron. Okay.
Oh.
Now, okay, Lehens is low level, so he'll respawn quicker.
I mean, killing Lehens has actually been the downfall of teams in the past.
Okay, now they just need to somehow approach the
Why
Baron.
did Keegan take half of his health bar from Yukal? I feel like Yukal's not that fed. But I guess he is.
Everyone's fed.
Yeah, I think they are. As now, Keegan gets on top of him. Yukal's in trouble. He does die. As Rich now gets over Taeyun. Another flanking Geo angle. How does he keep getting away with this as Andal's flashing after Sponge? He's now alone on the other side. It was not great here for DRX. In fact, it was a one trade for Nongshim.
Yeah, this was actually not well played here by DRX because half the people were in the Baron pit and half the people were over the Baron pit.
They were definitely feeling themselves, though.
Yeah, so they kill the hens, which is fine, you know. He hostile takeovers and they just... Rich flashes over it, it hits no one. But then this follow-up play, it's Yukal and Andal, everyone else is in the Baron pit. It's like a 4v2, and then, oh, actually, yeah, so Willa flashes over, they jump over, but it's like, well, you've already lost your...
I mean, Jiu ran around.
Yeah.
And he does run pretty fast.
But then Andal flashes over, and it's like, who's following you?
No one.
Okay.
All right, Willa is going to have to press his ultimate button. Now just goes in, looking for a bit of a re-engage. Gio's going to show up as well. Teleport in as now Rich gets a flank angle, but Kingan's on top of him. Sponge could be in trouble, though. There's so much damage here out of DRX, and Gio just cuts him down. Still, Rich gets himself out of there. The Nabar is in a decent position.
That's jungler down.
Yeah, does that mean that Baron is a bit easier to take off?
I think on the cards.
Uh-huh.
It's also, Jiwoo is 508.
He's once again like 4,000 gold in the lead.
That's a lot of money in the lead.
Do you think he's going to steal Endel's deserved POM?
I hope not.
I hope not too. All right, Yukal on a flank angle is spotted here by Nongshim. They're looking to try and stop this. Of course, they have no smite to do so. They need to try and bait a turn or something like that. But DRX are just doing it. They will just take it. And unfortunately, this is on-hit Varus, and Smite's better now.
Yeah.
So no Gumayushi action
Scout
here for
also
Taeun.
had no ult available, which is one of your bigger tools for when they all in the Baron pit. A little bit unfortunate. They do get a tower, though.
There you go, bounty gold, baby!
That's something.
That's gonna, like the gold in brackets on the end screen. That's also really cool.
Jiwoo bought Infinity Edge.
He did.
And it's also an expensive item. He has cash back, so he gets money back from it, which is something Taeun doesn't have. Oh.
Well, Kingan gonna get a flash out of Yukal here, and he flashes onto the death turret, actually. Between worlds goes Yukal now as hostile takeover once again is just kind of decorating the rift and not doing too much more. Finally, Chains of Corruption hits. That it's going to be more about disengage than getting anything done. DRX could just do no wrong today.
This is starting to feel a little scrappy, though. With how far ahead...
Gio, what are we doing? There's a bailout. He got the kill too late, though, and Taeun is still going to die. Kingan dead as well. Engage Sivir. Ladies and gentlemen, you had the flanking version. I give you the engage version. And it would never have worked if they weren't absurdly far ahead. However, they are, so it did. And Nexus inhibitor turret is going to go down. Is this end of the game off the back of engage Sivir, Orcs?
I think it might be. I've never seen such a literal slap with a wallet, but it was right there.
Oh my goodness. Scout gonna flash out of the way as Lahen's just trying to be frustrating. Bailout buys him a little bit of time, but Rich is able to limp away with his life intact. And Scout alive. They're not gonna be able to end because their 80 carry sacrificed themselves to win a team fight.
What is going on?
That's a lot of gold, actually.
Guys, you're 10,000 gold ahead. You do not need to do this. Gio has no summons, by the way, and Karma Shield was on cooldown.
It just walks at him. I don't know.
League of Legends is not this hard, by the way. This DRX have played extremely well for 2.8 games. You're nearly done the series.
Oh, I don't know. I'd still give it to him.
No. They've played very well, but they just need to just a little bit of goofiness right at the end. A little bit of goofiness. I don't want to criticize them. Just a little bit of goofiness. They got the Cloud Soul. Still nearly done.
Also, like a gigantic shutdown.
Yeah. I'm just a little bit concerned. Okay, the 1,000 gold shutdown. A little bit concerned. Just DRX. It's in your hands. We don't want to see a KT situation. That's all I'm worried about, okay? That's all I'm worried about.
Oh God,
okay.
That's how they begin the reverse sweep?
No,
oh, manifest that for me, Orcs.
I can't take it, okay?
Oh,
okay,
let's go.
It's happened too many times.
If you were Wolf, that would now be exactly what happens.
It's happened too many times. Okay, they have Cloud Soul, right?
Yeah.
This Sivir can break the sound barrier.
Yeah.
Okay. Just don't use it to go into melee range.
Yep. She's just guile projectiling all over the place. Did you get that reference? Some people might get that reference.
I didn't get that.
I don't know why I needed to make it so convoluted. As Andel and Gio, I heard the sonic boom. I heard it. All right, Lahen's getting slowed down. Willow walking at them, but it's power walking.
They're so fast.
Oh my!
It's like the episode of Malcolm in the Middle.
It really is. Yes, slow motion. All right, well, Will is going in once again, and he finds the 3-talent strike. Hostile takeover is a little bit better, but Yukal, oh my God,
where'd he go?
Just blows him up, and Scout gonna suffer the same fate. No bailout for him, as now Sponge desperately trying to escape. Kingan kind of massive, and does get some stride breaker value, but Shiu just swoops in, going 1 billion miles per hour, and DRX will continue that momentum straight into the Nexus turrets, and end this series before you could blink. A the most unprecedented of upsets. And look, honestly, I'm not that surprised.
Well, you made the prediction. It came through. And honestly, a little bit of spookiness right at the end, but they stuck the landing, right? A clean 3-0 when almost no one expected them to win. And DRX, they've got to be so happy with this, have made their way to the playoffs. A team who we thought maybe too reliant on the coach comms, apparently not. Apparently they had the power within them this whole time.
What an incredible performance. And do you know what it's like? The thing I love about watching series like this is DRX, it feels so much like BNK ThreX when they all click, get it together and make things happen. This is a team that is just surpassing the sum of its parts. And there are so many of these players that have not found that height of success that they've been looking for, but they've had those brief moments, right? Yucal, perfect example. That guy on your screen right there. Engage Siva Master here in game number 3, but Jiu has been a hero but hasn't got those big accolades, and it's the year of Andal.
I know we've been doing the year of Dudu, the year of Vikla, now the year of Andal, and it's been like a running thing. We have all these players on these big globes. I love it. I love that we have our players having these massive globes. I love that we can talk about Andal and he's just popping off at the moment. It feels so good. It's so good that we can talk about these players having these massive, huge performances and seeing the progression of them. And you know, you think back to Andal when he was really struggling with confidence.
Yeah, exactly.
He looks so confident in these plays. That Alistair play when he's like, I'm hexgating in, I'm flashing on a world champion, and I'm just propelling him into my team. Hell yeah, that's what I want to see.
Yeah, and also like, at the very beginning of this game, he got that snipe kill onto Taeun. I actually think that was huge in disrupting the lane control that they could have possibly had down there.
Yeah.
I mean, if we look on the side of Nongshim, there's obviously a lot of words to be had there on the opposite side of the spectrum, but I think celebrating DRX is what we really need to be doing here, because they had such a rough series against DK yesterday, and a series like that can really decimate your confidence. DRX look way more confident here today up against Nongshim, who are still a high caliber team. Like the solo lanes are like finals, world finals MVPs, both of them.
Yeah, I think so much of League of Legends obviously is about, you know, there's draft, there's gameplay, there's all these aspects, but also so much is about the mentality, right? And we've seen great players, great teams crumble under the weight of, you know, the pressure, and on the back of like a rough defeat or a rough game or just a rough death. And I think the fact that DRX got absolutely blasted by D+, and then bounced back in this manner to absolutely destroy Nongshim today really shows that the whole organization has done a great job, right?
Yeah.
And that the environment is clearly in such a good spot.
You know, at the end of the year, we have LCK awards, and often the Coach of the Year award is really difficult. It's easy this year. It's Joker 100%. It's just, I don't know, something about it. Every time he said, like, he has the feedback. They didn't die in any scuttle fights at all.
Oh yeah.
This whole series. It was beautifully played around the scuttles every time. He's had immaculate feedback, and DRX, good vibes all around, and are able to pick it up in 3-0 fashion.
You know what? Sometimes we say losers improve. Well, they definitely improved.
Yeah. I mean, both of these teams did lose yesterday. That's why we're here.
DRX really lost.
They lost way more.
And they really improved.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my goodness. I'm kind of, I don't know. I feel like I'm shocked.
Well, you know, I'm shocked.
Let's have a look at the POM. Give it to Andal, come on.
Oh, I hope.
Oh,
I hope.
It's gonna be, if it's Gio. Maybe Gio actually just walked up in the... I mean, he played really well.
He did.
I don't want to take anything away from Gio. I think he had a great series.
I think, you know, in a series like this, I can't really be upset
I can.
with multiple people, because there was multiple good ones, but I think Andal had an absolute banger. And
He was so good.
he was my vote. And you know what? I'm surprised. I'm surprised. You say you're surprised. I'm surprised because I predicted Nongshim, and you're a little bit surprised. but you weren't that surprised.
And I didn't predict the score line, so I was going to ask you, like, how did it feel when you did it? 안녕하세요. Hey, everyone. Yeah, no, I nailed it with the team that won, but no one understood that it was 3-0-able.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm mind blown. Completely mind blown. This is not what I was expecting out of mainly Nongshim in today's match. But maybe it's the fact that DNS kind of surprised them mid-series and then they sort of fell apart towards the end. Sometimes that is a lot more emotionally damaging than being actually just knocked out in the first punch.
Yeah, it's also been pretty tight, the
turnaround. Yeah. It's a very good point. Oh my goodness. All right, well, it is now time for the interview. So let's throw it on over and have a chat to Jiu.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Dear for the POM interview translation. We have Jiu on the side of DRX. You just took the last playoff spot. You must be ecstatic. How do you feel? Honestly, we had a really good match today, and I'm really excited to go to the playoffs. And you were actually facing your former team, so what was your mindset like? Yeah, I mean, given that I am playing my former team, I just wanted to win against them no matter what, and it feels really good. You know, nobody expected a 3-0, so did you know that you were going to win a 3-0? Honestly, I thought it would be a 3-2 or even a 3-1, but honestly, getting a 3-0 means that we'll get to go home early, which is pretty nice. DRX is actually playing 3 days in a row, so was it tiring? Just being able to constantly play, it actually felt like we were always warmed up, so I feel like it actually helped us and it played out really well. Yeah, with the back-to-back matches, we were always curious that, you know, whether it would have a negative impact from you guys being tired or not, but it felt like it actually helped you maintain your game senses. So from the draft, it felt like there was some crazy mind games. So what was the DRX's key point for drafting against Nongshim? I think we expected a lot of team fighting, so it was very focused around team fighting and also trying to take prio in the bot lane. A lot of your fans are saying that Joker, your head coach's drafting skills are on point. So how do the players feel? Yeah. Joker is exceptional in terms of drafting, so it makes it so much more comfortable for the players. So in game 1, the enemy took Lucian and Braum. Wow, you guys, the team vibes are really good, huh? Yeah, definitely. Going back to talk about the game, you know, you guys actually took a duo kill, a double kill against the bot lane. So was the game plan to play aggressively in lane? Yeah, I think with Andal, we kept talking about pushing in strongly and just playing aggressively the whole laning phase. And in game 2, the enemy took Ezreal Leona to take prio in bot, but you guys utilized your support or your jungler Willer to snowball the game. So what was the discussion like? I think we were communicating with him a lot, and we called for bot ganks. Throughout the game. So I think it actually helped in the end, just snowballing the game. It looks like with Jiu in Korean, it says, "This is a revenge from the past." I do really like that fan sign. And Corki Alistar duo comp was actually on a 7 losing streak, but you guys were the one to end that streak, and that speaks volumes about your synergy with Andal. So where do you feel your synergy shows the most? You know, I think I happen to have a weak point regarding my weakness was basically laning phases, but with Andal, it has improved immensely, so I feel so good about playing with Angel. And now that you have successfully secured the last ticket to playoffs, what is your mindset? Now that we advance to the playoffs, I want to prepare well for the playoffs so that we can keep on showing good performance. And that's the end of the interview with Jiwoo, and back to the desk. Thank you.